I know it seems like I'm on here yelling at y'all, because I am. It's time for y'all to wake the fuck up. Ain't you tired of being sick? Ain't you tired of having your body in aches and pains? Ain't you tired of your dick can't even go? You can't even please your wife because your dick can't get hard. Ain't you tired of that? Women, ain't you tired of not even having an orgasm? Certain women ain't never had an orgasm in their life and they want to blame it on a man. No, that is your biological clock and your reproductive organs not producing the right amount of healing constituents that you need to reach euphoria. Because you stuffing meat and alcohol down your mouth and you got fibroids and all types of polycysts on your endometrial lining of your cervix, and you can't even get that energy there to give you that sensation through the hypothalamus gland and the hippocampus. Ain't you tired of that? Ain't you tired of being mad and angry all the time? You always cussing people out and yelling and arguing and debating because you were full of angry birds because you want to eat angry chicken your whole life, and then you wonder why we act the way we act. Our spirituality and our mental capacity come from the information that we feed our bio-spiritual body. That's the food that you're putting in your body. That is your mind state. These are chemical constituents that makes up thoughts. Energy in motion. Energy that's in motion, or chemicals. These chemicals and hormones are produced by what you call the glandular highway.
If we don't know by now that they always trying to stop the show when we trying to grow, well, you know now. Welcome. We are here. Fruit Up family. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith YouTube. What up? We finally made it, family. Thursday night, y'all know what it is. I'm glad y'all waited. I see y'all in the building. Shouts out to everybody. Welcome. Make sure y'all share this historic live. Share. And y'all know what it is. So, as I said, we had a little technical difficulties, but we here. Y'all already know what's going down tonight. I ain't gonna even hold my brother super long, but I gotta say this before I bring him on. I'm super honored, family, to be having this conversation. As we all out here trying to heal ourselves and get better in life, we reach out to one another. And what I did 3 years ago was reach out to this man right here for guidance and support and help. And he emailed me back and he told me exactly what to do. And ever since that day, I've taken heed, family. I've taken heed. I've ran with it. And I can't even say how thrilled I am and how honored I am and how much respect I got for this man right here, who is truly healing the world, doing all the work, and we all support him, and we all know him, we all love him. My brother, Dr. Yahki Awakened. Let me get it right. What's going on, Doc?
I'm crazy, bro. Peace. Hey, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be on your platform, man. I'm super proud of you. Hey, I remember you reached out, man. You took the ball and went full court pressure, bro. Like, hey, like I said, you know how you inspire somebody and then somebody take that inspiration and they change their life. Now you are currently inspiring me, brother. And you was a part of my journey. Even though I've been on this healing journey and I've been doing this for 15 years, you didn't see me skinny. You didn't see me fat. You didn't see me skinny fat. Now I'm back to my skinny fit phase. This phase I'm in right now, losing all that weight, getting away from processed vegan food while being on the road and just messing up my body while teaching y'all health and me not doing what I was teaching. You was part of bringing me back. So even though I inspired you to get you where you at, you re-inspired me to get me back to what gave me the fire to start teaching the people in the first place. So we need to give you a round of applause too, my brother. Straight up, man.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. And you know, when I came to Philly, right, and I came to see you speak, it was the first time I ever came to see you speak. First time I met you in person. And you told me then, like, you inspired me then. And I remember telling my dude, Fred, like, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know who you inspired by. But let's get straight into this real quick, though, Yahki. Yeah. Dr. Yahki, let me get it right. Yeah. You said you see me skinny fat. You see me skinny fat. You look way different from that video we just saw.
Yeah. That was a fact. So if you go back through all of my, you can see me at. So I'm a little guy, man. Like my whole life I've been 143. You know what I'm saying? That's just my weight. But when you inflamed and you got all of those cytotoxins inside of your body, eating all of the wrong foods, especially cooked in seed oils, you know, dealing with those types of things, your body set on inflammation and then your liver start holding fat. And that's what basically happened to me. You know, we was on the road and we was touring. You came to one of the tour stops and just doing that and not having my chef with me, man. I started eating processed vegan food, and then I just didn't stop eating it. So, you can see my journey from when I first started, when I had my skinny locks before I got my locks combined. I was 143, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go back 5 years ago. And then as you see, when I get my locks combined, I start gaining visceral adipose tissue and fat on their way. So the more I climbed and the more following I got, I did the opposite. I got fat instead of getting more fit, which is crazy as hell when you really think about it. But
Facts.
I was so busy healing and so busy giving out the information and going to school. I doing all of the courses. And then, I had my own healing home in Georgia at the time. So I'm healing everybody else and getting the results, but I was neglecting myself. And that's that's really what happened, brother. So yeah, you see that video, I'm going off on him. I mean what I say, I'm passionate. Everything is coming from my heart. But at the same time, look at me. I'm not looking like my message. And that's why I say you have to be exactly who you say you are. So that's my whole slogan. That's what I live by now. I am exactly who I say I am. I talk like it. I live like it. I look like it. I feel like it. It's me. You know what I'm saying? And you can say the same. And that's the reason why I bet you if you get on the scale, we probably weigh about the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, indeed. Which size what weight you at right now?
I'm currently at, so I went on a fast. You see me when I held up my certificate from Stanford University. I had on a large white t-shirt. It looked like I'm the skinniest dude on planet
That's
Earth.
a fact.
Hey, look, I'm 145, but I just gained back 3 pounds, so I'm 147 right now. So if I get on the scale right now, I'm 147.
Hey, brother, you look good, man. You look real good. It's you know what? The way you look, and you can tell the difference. You can tell how big you was now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like then
Bro,
you can get like
I was 185, 190. 185, 190. I was 185, 190. But when I was sick before, 15 years ago, after the heart attack, I was 260. You see what I'm saying? So my whole life after I started smoking, drinking, doing recreational drugs, I was eating lamb because I'm a part of the Hebrew community. We eating lamb, we eating goat, we eating all of that. We drinking Hennessy, Remy Martin. I was a cognac maniac, you know what I'm saying? Drinking every single day, drinking fifths, man, smoking packs of cigarettes, smoking weed. I mean, up to 20 blunts a day. I didn't know what sober was. So when you putting all of that accumulation and toxicity inside of your molecular structure, the body got to hold those toxins. Otherwise, it will go into the bloodstream. If it go into the bloodstream, it will change your blood pH, your potential hydrogen. You go 3 decimals up or 3 decimals down, you go down, that's acidosis. That's set on an anaerobic state. You're going to get some type of so-called detoxification symptom that they call disease. You go up, that's alkalosis. The blood can't be too alkaline either. And you can, in fact, be too alkaline. Then you're going to die of alkalosis. So what the body do is the body starts raising estrogen. Estrogen start proliferating tissues. Adipose tissues get bigger. It's holes inside of them. And what it does is it literally engulfs toxins. So when you see somebody that is obese, obesity is a so-called disease because obesity means that the body is holding on waste. But obesity is the body way of trying to heal itself and correct itself. It's saying, okay, instead of all of these cytotoxins, instead of all of these mycotoxins and all of these toxemias going inside of the bloodstream and going deep within to the tissues, I'm going to pull it out the tissues. I'm going to pull it away from the bloodstream. I'm going to go the lymphatic route, which is the lipid route, and I'm going to create these adipose tissues and put them inside of fat cells. And then the more toxins that you accumulate inside the body, the fatter you get. So we look at fat as in you just eating too much. No, it's not that. That's a big gut. I'm talking about being fat all over. Everybody want to just look at the gut and see how round the gut is.
Yeah.
That means you have a bad digestive system. That means your large and your small intestines ain't working. You're going through something called peristalsis. I'm talking about fat when your organs are fat. Like me, I had fatty liver. When you have an oversized heart, when you have an oversized kidneys, like true inflammation, that stuff come from eating all of these different types of waste byproducts. Because when you look at what we're doing, when you eat anything that's processed, it's already going through what your body was going to do naturally to it anyway. So if you, and I always use the potato, for example, if you chew a potato, you grinding it up. Once you grind it up, you swallow it, it goes to the stomach. The moment it hits your stomach, it's going into an oven. This is going to extract all of the phytochemistry and the nutrients from it. Once it extracts all of that, it's going to go through the duodenum, which is this small 9-inch intestinal tract, right? Inside of there, you got trillions of bacteria that's going to help ferment, break that down, and take it to the blood. All of that end byproduct, or what you would call macro waste, then goes to what you would call the small intestines, and then it reaches the large intestines, and then you poop it out. Well, the same thing happened when they go pull a potato from the ground. They take it, they cut it up in slices, they put it in the oven, they bake all the ingredients off of it, they sprinkle their salt or whatever on it, and then they put it into a bag, the waste of it, because they extracted all the nutrients from it, and then they sell it to us to eat. So anytime you think about any type of processed food, you are eating the bowel movement. Dr. Laila Africa used to teach me this all the time, and I used to be like, what is he talking about? Until I started chewing on chips and all these other things before I went vegan. I said, damn, this is a bowel movement, because all of the phytonutrients and all the chemicals and amino acids, or the carboxylic acid, and everything that I need to rebuild my molecular structure have been extracted from the food, and they leave us with a byproduct, or a waste byproduct, a metabolism byproduct. And then we eat that, and we call that food. And that's why we never get full. That's why we be so hungry the moment we get done eating food, because it's already been ultra processed. When you are a natural biological processing machine, you process the food yourself. You chew it, you pulverize it, you swallow it. Your hydrochloric acid breaks it down, extract the nutrients. It goes through this 9-inch intestinal tract. You get those nutrients into the bloodstream, and then the waste byproduct from that goes through your digestive system, and then you get rid of it in the toilet. So it's like, when you really think about it, processed foods make you process.
Yeah.
So then that's what I was doing. I was eating ultra processed vegan food.
Hey, when you talk about Yahki, the new wave is vegan, right?
Yeah.
Vegan this, vegan that.
I hate it.
It's like I told my class the other night, I said whole food plant-based had to be created.
Yeah.
Right? Because they wanted to separate themselves from vegan.
Yeah.
What's the main problem with veganism right now?
The main problem, and I like the way you structure that question. So the main problem with veganism right now is it is not focused on health. It's not focused on nutrition. It's not focused on elimination. And so when you eat food, 2 things supposed to be on your mind. Energy, well, 3 things. Energy, rebuilding, and elimination. If the food do not make you do those 3 things, if it don't contribute to those 3 things, or those 3 processes in life, which is consumption, rebuilding, and elimination, then you can't consider it food. And the thing is, we getting all these processed foods. We got the tofu movement, not saying that all tofu is bad, but it do got soy. And I'm not even gonna sit here and say soy is completely bad. Research showed that it's not, depending on the way that it was actually made and how they do it. But we eating all of these things and all of these foods, and then they not real whole foods. The thing to me is, what's wrong with vegan is it don't push grow your own food, and it don't push the frugivore diet, because at the end of the day, when you look at our biochemical molecular structure, you look at our physiology and our biology, we are frugivores. And that's point blank, period, up and down. You can't run from it. And then plants kill. A lot of people hate to hear me say that. I've been talking about this for 10 years. Plants will kill you. Plants don't want to be eaten. So when you eat a plant, the plant gives you all of these chemicals, and then these chemicals are like lectins. You have saponins, you got tannins, you got all of these different phytochemicals, which is natural herbicides and pesticides inside of the plant that make you feel horrible. And that's why you hear people that say, I went vegan, or I went on a vegetarian, or I went on a vegetable diet and I felt worse. Well, that's because the plants was trying to kill you. See, what plants do is the plants grow a fruit for you to eat. The plants say, hey, don't eat me. I will reproduce a part that holds a seed in it that have a flesh around it that we call meat. And you can eat the meat that I produce, which is the fruit, because we are frugivores. But the moment that you eat the plant, because the plant was made for 2-ton animals, by the way, which are herbivores, and we don't look like them at all. We don't have 4 stomachs like them. We don't stand horizontal like them. We're upright, vertical people. We don't have them big, flat, pulverizing teeth like they do. We don't, anything that a herbivore got, we seriously don't got. We seriously don't have. Now, can we deal with certain plants? Yes. That's why I teach, 90% fruit and 10% vegetables. You know what I'm saying? And then between that, of course, you have your nuts and your seeds. But the problem with the vegan movement is this. We think just because it's not meat and it's not dairy that it is healthy. And
Yeah.
that is not true at all. And I'm gonna go on record to say that you farming and grass feeding and not putting shots into your animals and raising them in love and then eating them that way is healthier than the vegan movement. I'm gonna say that again. Eating grass-fed, organically non-shot animals' flesh is better than this ultra-processed vegan movement. Drinking goat's milk is better than drinking a vegan Coca-Cola. I'm saying, I'm gonna just keep it real. Now, is that still healthy? No, it's not. Not at least not to our molecular structure and to who you would call deeply melanated beings, because of course
Indeed.
you eat by your biological mobility. So I wouldn't say that it's healthy, but it is better than the ultra processed vegan movement. And that's why you can see people go carnivore or see people get off those things and just eat something that's plant-based and grass-fed, and then they start thriving. But they stay on it a few months, and then guess who they got to come see? Dr. Yahki, because all of those proteins putrefy, gonna shut down the kidneys, and you're gonna have to come see me anyway. So the problem with the vegan movement is exactly what I just said. It doesn't push health. It just push non-meat, non-dairy, which is crazy to me. So any diet, like I said, it have to contribute towards energy. It have to rebuild the molecular structure, and it have to make you poop. If you eat and that food do not make you go to the bathroom or want to go to the bathroom at least 30 minutes to an hour after you eating it, then you shouldn't even consume it, because your food's supposed to help the digestive process, because it comes with what? Natural digestive enzymes. Well, guess what comes with natural digestive enzymes? Fruits.
Yep.
Fruits.
Yeah.
Not vegetables, bro. Not vegetables. I'm just keeping it the 1,000. You see what I'm saying? So
that's a fact. Now it's so crazy that you say it. Feel like the vegan movement got like infiltrated by what you call like processed meats.
Yeah, it did.
Right?
It did.
Yeah, that's what, because once they added that in it, that's when people are like, I got to get away from that. Now talk to people out there. Is it okay to eat processed meats? And if so, is it okay to transition that way? Like, would you?
I wouldn't even transition
processed meats?
I wouldn't eat no processed meat, especially what Bill Gates and them are doing to the processed meats. And when you look at them, they adding pea protein. They have a lot of glyphosate in them. When you look at these meats and what they putting in them, they putting tar gum in these things to stick them together. I wouldn't do it. So you look on the back of them, they got all of these names. If it got more, for me, if it have more than 3 ingredients that I can't actually explain, or I have to Google to find out what it is, I'm not putting it in my mouth. Every ingredient except the pea protein on them processed meat says that it is synthetic meat that is made in a laboratory. I'm not going to put it in my mouth. Now, have I ate processed foods before, processed meats before? Of course I did. I was deep into the vegan movement. Will I ever put them things in my body again? No, I wouldn't. So the problem with processed meats will make a processed you. And then if you look at most of the ingredients inside of there, these things are like bleaches, it's dyes, it's extracted pea proteins, it's glues, it's all metals. These things are crazy. It's high levels of starches in them. So what they do, they say, well, it's sugar-free. Well, it's meat-free. Or they hit you, well, it's soy-free. So you've been so used to the sound biting that you only looking for soy, because you don't want to be a soy boy. You only looking for making sure it ain't got no dairy products because you're vegan. And you ain't even looking up these other words where it got dyed. They have sodium chloride up in them, and I'm talking about a synthetic sodium chloride, not the natural one that's inside of our body. And you start looking at all these acids and all these starches that's in there, and then they induce and make synthetic cellulose to stick them together called glue. Your body cannot process these things or break them down. They stay in your system longer than beef stay in your stomach.
That's insane. You know what the problem I run into in our community, like, especially since I done got into coaching and stuff, is like, I can't afford the food. Like, I can't do this. Like, what would you say to somebody, like, say a woman out there who on food stamps, only got $40 in stamps, got a couple kids? Where should somebody like that start for us to start getting right?
I would say this right here. I would say the most expensive diet is the ultra processed vegan food diet. That's the most expensive. Next to that will be your meats and stuff like that. The least expensive diet is a completely 100% plant-based frugivore geared diet. That's the real fast food. You get it quick, you wash it off, you eat it, and not only that, it's cheap. You can go to your local produce store right now. You can go to your local farmers market, or you can grow your own food right now. You can spend $140 on a tree that they already started the growth process for. You already got the roots on it and everything. You can plant it in the ground, water it, trim it, make sure you put it up good, and feed it some good sunlight. Let it go through biophotomodulations or photosynthesis. In 3 years, you will be yielding hundreds and hundreds of free apples every year from $150. That's how cheap it is. Or you can go to somebody else that just did that process and buy a big basket of apples for $2 a piece. And you can live off apples. Apples have, and people sleep on apples. Apples have everything you need in it. All the amino acids you need, all of the minerals you need, all of the carboxylic acid you need. It comes with malic acid that helps cut the liver on, get the liver actually producing glutathione to detoxify you. I mean, apples alone. The thing is, what we have been taught, food is not food, and what we have been taught, or side dishes or stuff that you can choose to eat, is the real food. So
Yeah.
when somebody coming and you coaching them, the first thing they thinking, the moment you mention fruit, they gonna, in their head, they might not say it, that's not real food. So they thinking about the stuff that they can't eat or something that they can substitute. If you take the meat away, they want you to replace that meat with something else. And then they start calculating. Quit calculating that and quit. Frugivore culture and holistic plant-based culture is totally different from what you've been eating. You want to change your life, you got to change your mindset. So changing your mindset is changing how you view yourself too. And then the crazy part to me is, because we deal with thousands of people, they tell you that they can't afford a package, right? But they be up in here fully dressed, right? Got a job, drove all the way to see me in the car. Most of them take a buy a plane ticket. They done bought a hotel room. They dress better than me. And then everything is paid for until it's time to, and it's not about it's about the challenge is what get them. So since it challenged them and challenged their norm, and this culture shock is put on them, now the only excuse they got is, well, it's too much, it's too expensive. And to me, that just means you really don't want to do it. And I know you desire to look like what you see, because everybody can see their higher self. So I know you desire to be that, but you don't want to be that because you know that can't nobody do that work for you. You your own healer. You got to go through that work. I can't take them pills and them capsules for you. I can't walk 15,000 steps a day for you. I can't fast and do intermittent fasting for you. I cannot get your body into a state of autophagy. I can tell you what to do, and if you follow me, all of these good results will happen, but I can't do, only thing I can do is do what I'm doing right now. Talk to you. And hope and pray that I'm convincing enough to make you try it out. And then once you make it through the tryout periods, because it is a tryout.
It's a tryout. It's a fact.
And you start seeing results, boom, now I got you. Other than that, man, you are your own healer. You do the own work. So the whole thing is, people use it's too expensive as an excuse. You got a roof over your head. That means you pay monthly bills. You got electricity to even get in contact with me. That means you have Aspire, that you have an electricity bill you pay and an internet bill you pay. That's how you watch me on TV. So, and I'm not counting people's pockets, but I'm not stupid either. It's expensive to you because you don't want to do it. You don't want to put in that work. So the whole thing is to convince them to try the tryouts, man. That's the whole thing to me. Look, and that's why everybody come to my clinic. This is what I say, Bobby. I say, give me 21 days. 21 days, I swear to God, I'll change your life. Just give me 21 days. If it don't work in 21 days, you can curse me. You can go talk bad about me. But give me 21 days to get you feeling magnificent. You might not get the healing. You might not get the negative results, but you will be feeling your best you ever felt. And that will give you enough motivation, and that will give you enough fire to keep going, for we can't get the negative results, whether you coming in with a metabolic chronic disease or whether you just trying to lose weight.
Facts. And you talk about that process and that challenge though, right? I don't think people realize how tough this really is. You know what I'm saying? Transitioning in your life. Like, you got to be ready for it. You got to be willing. You was willing though. You just said you went from 180 something to 145, right?
But you see my process. I posted all the workouts.
I was gonna say, talk about it.
So look, they act like this happened overnight though.
Yeah.
You know, and I think some I read through the comments sometimes. What they were saying, I'll be Ozempic. He on the Ozempic. And I'm like, man, I've been working out every day for a year straight. You know what I'm saying? Right. Matter of fact, 14 months straight. I've been dieting for a long time. I posted my whole journey. It's like, where y'all been at? I posted my whole journey, me dropping my weight. And man, every time I got up in the rising, it took it. So I got me a personal gym in my basement. Do you know how the talk and the fight I had to have with myself, Bobby, every single day to go down there? Get up, man. Come on, you got this. Get up, man. I don't feel like it. Look, just sleep one more day. Just
all the time,
man. You know the man. And then look, so I'm transitioning back to how I started, but that don't mean my family is. You know what I'm saying? So I get up and I'm on the livid that I'm on, and I'm fasting and I'm eating the Frugivore diet, and I'm smelling French fries. Damn, I love me some French fries.
Man, that's my Achilles heel, man.
They got the cinnamon on them. I'm smelling salt in the background. I'm here. So the fight is within, brother. It straight is. And the whole thing is, do you want it? How bad do you want this? I seen my higher self, and who really got me. You was my inspiration, but who got me was Cali Muscle. Cali Muscle got me, man. I was watching one of his videos because I like to keep up on you. You know what I'm saying? I keep up on you, and I seen him mention you. I seen him mention in the video. I said, let me see what Cali talking about. And he was like, man, who got me started was Yahki. He's like, but I couldn't listen all the way. He said what he was saying sounded good. He said, but I couldn't really listen to him because he had puffy cheeks. He's like, how you telling me all of this good stuff? You motivate me, but then I had to look, man, you got puffy cheeks. You fat. He was like, so he said, so I kept watching other people, and Yahki led me to Bobby, and I seen Bobby on a watermelon fast, and he said, I looked at Bobby. Bobby looked it good. He looked like what he was talking about, and he said, so it inspired me to do a watermelon fast. So I'm like, damn, the message was good. I meant well. My intentions was there, but I didn't look like my message because I wasn't being who I said I was. I wasn't practicing what I teach. So he couldn't even get the message because I wasn't looking like it. So it made me do just like, damn, if he went to somebody else, or if he stopped listening to me because I wasn't looking like my message, how many others did the same thing?
Yeah.
And I said, no, man, that's doing a disservice to the community, and doing not only to myself, but to my people and to the community, man. I had to keep it real. I got my ass up. I got in the gym, and I went back 90% fruit, vegetables, seeds. I went back frugivore. I'm like, and look, as I did that and worked out, the weight just started slowly dropping off. And then I found out that I had fatty liver. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but look, and what's crazy is the fatty liver came from all of the fruit juice.
I was gonna say, because I was gonna mention the fatty liver, right? Yeah. But let me hold that thought real quick.
Yeah,
because you mentioned Cali, I gotta say this. When the last time you seen Cali?
I seen Cali. I talked to him probably 2 months ago. I ain't seen him in a minute, man.
Yeah, man,
what?
He ain't on no Frugivore path no more.
He back on the meat?
He back on the supplements and back in the gym. He big now and everything.
What?
Like big. I'm talking about big. So I had to mention that because the reason why I got to say this, and I got to say this because I said I was. Cali Muscle, I seen him on a video one day talking about how when he went to a fruitarian lifestyle, his libido suffered. I'm like, he said that. He said that to the people. He said, I don't want to mess with all them fruits no more, man. That stuff slow your libido down.
Nah, wait. Only thing I can be thinking, if that's the truth, is he was glycating and he had too much sugar blocking those areas for blood, and blood couldn't reach his penile area. I can see that. Other than that, in order if you want a strong, stiff penis, go on the fruits.
Right.
The crazy thing is what sperm needs to give new life is fructose. If you look, you can look it up right now. Sperm don't eat or consume glucose, which come from meat and come from vegetables. It eats fructose. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Everybody be down in the fruits. And it's like, in order for you to even get true ATP, or what you'll call adenosine triphosphate, which is changing water into pyruvate. Well, it's called glycolysis. And when you eat food, the body extracts the glucose from it. Once you extract the glucose go to the mitochondria. The mitochondria take it through these 4-step processes called the respiratory chain. So glycolysis happened first. That's called the splitting of the glucose molecule. Did you know in order for the glucose molecules to even turn into, so it's a 6-carbon molecule. The 6-carbon molecule have to be broken down to 3-carbon molecules called pyruvate. Did you know what makes that change is fructose? So even for you to get the right energy in your body, whether you eat meat, whether you eat vegetables, whether you eat seeds, whether you eat dairy products, whether you eat nuts, or whether you eat fruit, you still need fructose to even make that 3-step change happen before you can turn water, before you can turn. So light hit what you would call carbon, and it creates CO2. CO2 then goes through the cell, gets broken down through water, and then this water, which is H3O, not H2O, then this water is then used as a phosphate fuel for you to get energy for you to live your every single day life. The moment that this process stops happening, you die. Guess what? The main sugar you need to make that happen, to bring glycolysis down to pyruvate, to even produce something called acetylcholine. You need fructose. Guess what you need to give new life? You cannot give new life. You can get on your computer, share the screen. Let's Google it now. Let them see. You need fructose to even give life. So, and then another thing, they say you cannot go into ketosis on a frugivore diet. Lies. I was in ketosis. I just got out of ketosis on fruit. And then when you look at what fruit is a part of a ketone functional group. Fruit, not vegetable, is a part of a ketone functional group. And that's the reason why you can go on all fruits and lose weight so quick. So it's a bunch of stuff that's in the literature that is lies, that people are not doing these studies. Like we finna do our own study to even prove these things.
Indeed.
And we in the laboratories looking at this stuff, and it's like, man, look, it's all lies. Now, what I will say is, if you have a fatty liver, hey, fruit juices is not good for you. It's not. And that's what was going on with me. So if you got a fatty liver, I'm not going to put you on a fructose diet, a high fructose diet. I'm going to balance it out more until we get the fats and the adipocytes, clusters off the liver. And then I can start introducing, but I'm not going to put you on no grape juice diet. I'm not going to say, go get a big bag of grapes and juice the grapes. That will glycate you.
Well, hold on. Now you saying, can all that juice cause fatty liver, or you shouldn't do it if you have fatty liver?
I'm gonna say this: if you shouldn't do it if you have fatty liver. If you should, so you got to remember, and I'm speaking from experience. I already had a liver issue when I had my heart attack at the age of 21. You know what I'm saying? I had scar tissue on my liver, scar tissue on my heart. I've been telling the same story for years. So when I healed myself, I went on a 120-day juice fast, 120 days. You know what I'm saying? But when I healed myself, everything came back normal. But I wasn't thinking about all of those high fructose, because fructose goes the lipid route. It don't need insulin. It bypass insulin. Insulin is what you need to uptake glucose, and insulin is also not only do it pushes glucose into the cells, but you can actually get adenosine triphosphate. But insulin is actually an anti-inflammatory hormone too. So if you insulin resistant, or your insulin is super high, super low, that's because you are too inflamed and it's trying its hardest to work. So the pancreas played this teeter-totter game with the alpha cells and the beta cells to get those glucose molecules inside the cells, and then the pancreas gives up. And then you have something called the pancreatic fluke worm that is whooping the black community butt. So you got a lot of people walking around that's high glycemia, glycosemia, or have high sugar diets and high sugar in their blood, and they not even realizing that they have an actual intestinal worm that then lodges itself inside the pancreas. And we see that a lot too. It's called the pancreatic fluke worm. It's actually a part of the Fasciculopsis family.
Where do that come from? How do they get it?
From within their own cells. I proved that too when I was up in my laboratory and I had my microscope up and I was showing the white blood cells, and I was showing these little dots called proteids. So the cells go through something called cellular lysis, where they will bust open. And when they bust open, all of these living organisms or microorganisms, should I say, called protids, they come out into the extracellular tissue. When they get out into the interstitium and the extracellular tissues, they start to pleomorphosize themselves. They literally morph into different entities depending on the actual pH level of your body. And pH equals oxygen, and a lot of people don't know that either. The lower your pH is, the lower your oxygen levels are, which would turn you hypoxic. So since it turns you hypoxic, they have to kick on something called an anaerobic glycolysis, and what they do is they help ferment your food, and that's where lactic acid come from. So I noticed when that happens, the moment that your pH go down, these little protids can look like a pin needle ball, don't they not be? But if your blood changes, you will see them get bigger and morph. I mean, within the blink of an eye. I got it recorded like 1,000.
When you showing that in Philly?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was showing it in Philly, but I showed it live here. I show it live here at the clinic as well, where I will take your blood sample from you. I put it under a clear quartz crystal $100,000 microscope. I will show you a white blood cell, or what you would call a leukocyte. Usually I want to use the basophils because you can see these little protids better. They call them granules. A granule means without the protids. Granule means with the protids. So when you look at neutrophils and you look at eosinophils and you look at basophils, your basophils deals with parasites and it deals with your allergens and your histines. When you look at your eosinophils, it literally deals with parasitic natures and pathologies. When you look at your neutrophils, it deals with foreign invaders. So whenever I see your eosinophils high, I know for a fact that you have parasites. When I see your basophils high, I know you have too many antibodies built up in your body because your immune system, or what I'm going to call your lymphatic system, is trying to combat the body of what they will call an infectious disease. If I see the neutrophils, you have foreign objects inside the body that's not supposed to be there. So if I see somebody with a bunch of basophils, the first thing I'm going to think is allergens. I'm going to think histine, and I'm going to think some type of parasitic. So what you would do is, if you study this sample in love, if you pull the blood out of the cells, it's only going to be live for 45 minutes. So you got 45 minutes to really just look at it before it die, and then you got to let it dry and you look at it that way. Every time I find either a neutrophil, a basophil, or an eosinophil, I watch it. If it don't bust, I will apply pressure to the slide and I'll bust it myself. When I bust it myself and I put my eyes back into my magnifying scope, I usually go 300, 20x is good. That's 20,000 magnifications, but I like to go to 100 to 300 and put oil on it. And I go dark field where I can really see it. Man, these cells will bust open, right? And the living entities that's within inside of the cytoplasm of the cells will go into the blood, and then they morph. They pleomorph. They will change their structure just to be the trash cans for the body. So a lot of us blame parasites and say parasites cause cancer. No, it don't. Parasite is trying to rid the body of cancer. Now, do they get lazy as hell, and will they lay their eggs inside of a tumor? Yes, they will. But the tumor is a trash bag. So we are always pointing our fingers at the person that's close to the crime. Maybe that's Batman and Robin, and that's not the actual person that's committing these robberies. And that's what I noticed, that the allopathic community, or what the scientific community, do with infections. An infection is there for a reason. The body will overpopulate and overgrow bacteria because bacteria have one specific main job. Well, let me not say one specific main job, but certain bacteria that's in your body have one specific main job in the body, and that's to eat acids. So if you super acidic, guess what you're going to get? A bacterial infection, period. If you super acidic and now you're hypoxic because your pH went low and you didn't flip the porality of your cells, guess what's going to happen? The body's going to create a fleshly trash bag and stick all the trash in there. Guess what they call that? A tumor. If all disease, this is what I've been studying, being in school, being in the laboratory, bouncing back from Stanford, Harvard, and all these other different schools, like really talking and having colleagues and exchanging information, and then having my own lab in Houston, having my own laboratory here, and really seeing people in my clinic doing some of the most brilliant work ever in the Black community, I would say. And I'm not the type of person that toot my own horn, but I'm really doing it. What I notice is the root cause to all, because I don't believe in disease. I think it's an illusion, but we're going to use it for people that identify with it. The root cause to all disease is deficiencies in toxicity. And if you can fix those two things, then usually you will see a reversal. And this is a fact. So when you look at deficiency, what are we deficient in? And that's why and you said not DJ Khaled. I said DJ Khaled. Muscle back on the supplements.
Yeah.
I'm not even knocking the supplements unless you talking about he back on like the protein supplements and stuff like that's crazy if he is.
I don't know. He pretty big real fast. So
I'm calling him when we get off the phone.
Yeah, hit him up.
But if you damn near have to supplement now, Bobby, and I'm gonna keep it 100. And I'm not even finna sell a supplement or say buy a supplement. I'm just finna tell you the truth. The minerals of the earth and of the soil is so deficient. It is hard to get the actual trace minerals that you need that really have the biological function that makes the biological process and functioning in your body go. And that's just the truth. Like copper, magnesium, selenium, you need those things, and they're just not in the soil no more. God, I'm just keeping it real. Now, guess what's in the soil though? High iron. Iron is very, very toxic. I mean, iron is one of the most toxic metals in the world. And then if you look at specific root races like melanated beings, our actual mineral is iron phosphate. If you look at Caucasians, theirs is calcium. If you look at Asians, theirs is iodine. Well, ours is iron. And so we're so iron polluted. And then, the crazy thing is they tell a woman that she's anemic, right? When she's not anemic at all, because they're checking the blood. But what we have done is, so if you come to the clinic and they say that the woman's anemic, and I see her blood and I see her ferritin and her transferritin and I see her hemoglobin and is low, I don't automatically think there's low iron. That means that the iron is low inside the bloodstream, because that's what they pull in the blood. They not checking the tissues. So check this out. If I put you on my lymphatic massager to truly massage your tissues, and then I check your blood again, guess what? Iron levels back high. So what do that mean? That means that you're not low in iron. That means iron is hiding out in your liver and iron is hiding out in the tissues. So how can I pull that iron from the liver and the tissues to put it back into the bloodstream so we can get this dance going again? Guess what I got to do? I got to introduce copper into the body, because copper and selenium is the only minerals that pulls and transport iron, and iron transports through hemoglobin by the way of oxygen throughout the body. So it's like, we even got to change the way we do blood sampling, bro. We got to change. Look, for this to truly, truly work, the first thing we need to do is we have to remineralize our soil. We got to. And that means grow your own food from soil to table. And I'm making a stat tomorrow. It's in my phone. It's already ready. I just got to put check this out, God. It said the most simplest advice I can give you. It's simple. It's so simple it sounds crazy. Grow your own food. And if you can't grow your own food, shop with your local farmers. And if you can't shop with your local farmers, buy organic from the produce aisle. That right there will cut out 50% of the issues you have in at home with your metabolic processes. Right there. I ain't even mentioned water yet. Grow your own food. If you can't grow your own food, shop with your local farmers. If you can't shop with your local farmers, go to the produce aisle, the living produce aisle, and buy organic. And make sure that you washing your vegetables and your fruits properly. And half of the metabolic issues and the chronic disease and the fatigue that you're going through will go away. And it sounds so simple, but that's really all it is. But the culture, our ingestion process, we have been so desensitized to real taste of food, because all of these different additives, preservatives, the fat salt ratio, the sugar fat salt ratio that they put on potato chips in our foods. And then we got to talk about the fats through the lipids and the seed oils, that we're so addicted to that taste. The moment you taste real food, you say it don't got no taste.
Yeah.
So when people come into the clinic and they be eating, the food that they be eating, and I give them an apple, or we give them tea, or they be like, well, it's nasty. It don't taste like nothing. I be like, well, to me, it tastes like heaven to me. I can taste the natural sugar in this apple. I can taste the natural sodium in this apple, and other people can't taste it.
Yeah, that happened to me audit during the watermelon, during the 108 days of watermelon. I don't even remember which day, but one of them days, it seemed like I tapped in to the taste. And it's like, the taste was like,
you detoxified your taste buds.
It tasted like candy.
But you think about this, Bobby. We got biofilms on our tongues from the wrong foods. We got Candida albicans thrust biofilms on our tongues from the food. We got mucus deep within the little bitty capsules of our tongues, the pores of our tongues, because of wrong foods. Half of us is not brushing correctly, not flossing correctly. So we got plaque buildup on our tongues from the food, right? Now, when you look at the mouth, you have taste senses not only in the tongue, but you have them in the upper palate where the nose is connected to. When you really taste your food, you actually smelling it. I know I know they sound crazy, but you can look this up. How you taste your food is smelling it while it's in your mouth. And then you have the backup system, which is the tongue. And then you even have these in your cheeks as well. If it is all coated with candida and thrust and these glucose glycating, it's called the glycocalyx, what we can talk about later. How can you taste your food? But then you go on these months of detoxification and you start breaking down those biofilms. You start breaking down the Candida albicans and the thrust layers. Now all of a sudden, an apple that didn't have a taste, you'd be like, whoa, this is the sweetest apple I ever tasted in my life.
That's
because
a fact.
we went through that detoxification process. But this is not taught to the clients and the patients that come to us. So since we're not teaching them that, hey, look, your food gonna taste nasty for a while, or it might be tasteless for a minute, but there'll be a breakthrough in 21 days. Give me 21 days, I'll change your life. I think if we start doing that, it'll get them something to look forward to. You see what I'm saying? But that's all it is. You eat trash and you get addicted to the sugar, you get addicted to the salt ratio. There's something, Bobby, called the bliss rate. Have you ever heard the bliss rate? So what the bliss, it's called the bliss rate or the bliss tolerant rate. And what it is they mix candy and fruit and all these things together, and they mix it in a certain ratio. Dr. Michael talk about this, and they mix it in a certain ratio, and it shows you the amount of dopamine that's released when you eat it, and you get that exact ratio through salt, sugar, and fat. And it's a bliss. It makes you blissful, and that's what makes a child say, "Can I have it again?" Every day they ask for the same thing because they are literally getting high off of the food, off of the high fructose corn syrup, off of the high mix of lipids and fats that's in the food, and then they always put sodium inside of it. If you can get that ratio right in the laboratory, you can make billions of dollars because all you got to do is sell it to children. And it's called the bliss rate. It's called a high bliss rate, and that's what a lot of us is chasing. We don't realize that we are chasing a high. We're chasing food like a drug. You wake up, you a slave to food. The first thing you want to do is eat breakfast. First thing. I'm talking about you ain't even took a poop yet. You ain't drank no water yet. You ain't drank no H3O2 yet. You want breakfast. You want a pig's ass. You want bacon. You want egg. You want chicken fetuses. You want to mix this all together. And then not only that, now you want a snack 2 hours later. You ain't even went to the bathroom yet. Then after that, you want something called lunch. Then you want another snack after lunch, and then after that snack, you want dinner. And then you want another snack before you go to sleep. So you eating 6 times a day, which is freaking absurd, brother.
Absurd. It's absurd.
You're not giving your digestive tract no rest. All of that energy all day is heading towards the gut, which is very bad because you need the energy to go to the extremities. You need the energies to circulate the blood properly. You need that to convert things over into ATP, right? So if you're not utilizing the energy right and you just focus on the digestive system and you still not pooping correctly, guess what? Hypoxia. You flipping the poles. You know, when you look at a red blood cell, the inside of it is negative. The outside of it is positive. Both of them are positive because when you get into magnetism, blood cells are not supposed to stick to each other. That's called glycation. And a lot of us are glycating ourselves to death. We're supposed to go through something called glycosylation. Glycosylation. That is when glucose and fructose actually breaks down into metabolic waste. But while it's doing it, you're yielding energy. What we're doing is glycating. I can tell you if you're glycating right now, just order something from CBS, a little sugar tester, check your blood sugar. If you haven't eaten in 2 to 3 hours and you check your blood sugar and it's above 80, you're in a glycation stage. You're supposed to be 60 to 80 at all times, unless it's 30 minutes to an hour after you eaten. If not, then you're glycating. Glycation actually breaks down the cells and it harms something called the glycocalyx. The glycocalyx is this membrane that covers every cell and organ in your body, and it acts like grass. Well, if you start digging at the grass, eventually you're going to expose something. And that's what's happening to our body. And guess what's doing this? Meats, dairies, and plants. Meats, dairies, and plants is killing us. So even when you start getting into the physiology and the molecular structure of food, our main diet is supposed to be fruit, seeds, and nuts, brother. And that's just the truth, man. Fruit, seeds, and nuts. We're your frugivores.
It's so crazy, man. You've been over there studying that blood. Like the way you speaking. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yahki.
You breaking up bad, brother.
Can you hear me? On your end too? Can y'all hear me? Everybody, can y'all hear me out there? Yahki. I don't know what happened to Yahki, family. I don't know what happened to him. We're gonna try to get him back on. Let me see what we can do, family. The boy, the man, you see what happens, family, when we doing what we supposed to do, right? When we doing what we supposed to do, this what happens. So, yeah. Let me try to get in touch with him. He was going in. Family. The brother Yahki going in tonight. So, let me see. Here we go. We got him back, family. We got him back right here.
I don't know what that was, man.
Hey, you already know what's going on. You was going in.
What did I leave off at, man?
I got puzzled. I'm like, hey, but no, what did I just asked you about something?
I don't know. I was too bad. You know, I be going on my rants.
Man, you was going in.
I was just talking about us how we're glycating, and I was saying that the worst thing that's happening, specifically to the melanated community, we're glycating because of the meats, because of the fats, and I'm talking about the wrong type of fats, and definitely because of the plants. And I don't think we realize how much plants are killing us. Like plants, not what the plant reproduce, which is the fruit, but the actual plant itself. And you start looking at saponins, you start looking at lectins, you start looking at tannins, you start looking at wheat germ agglutinin, you start looking at AGGs, you start looking at all of these different fight or flight chemicals that's inside of vegetables. Hey, vegetables do not want humans to eat them. So they kill little pests that be on them. Kill them. They kill them dead. A pest, chew a plant, that pest will die since they're so little. They harm and break down our glycocalyx. It literally harms our glycocalyx, and it always initiate immune response. That's why some people were like, man, I ate kale and I went vegan, I ate kale and I got sick as a dog. Yeah. That's because the plant was trying to kill you. Because
those the plants you talking about though? Like what exact plant? Like kale, cabbage, all of it?
No, because cabbage is not a plant. Cabbage is a flower.
Okay.
Part of the fruit kingdom. You see what I'm saying?
So what plants should we stay away from?
Anything that's a part of the reproductive part of the plant is considered a fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that yields a seed is considered a fruit. You see what I'm saying? So lentils, that's a fruit. It's the legume family. Chickpeas, or what they call garbanzo beans, is not a bean. That's a fruit. You see what I'm saying? When you look at cabbage is an actual flower top. That's why it folds in like that. These are part of the reproductive part of the plant. What I mean by plant is the leaf side. We're not made. So once upon a time, I'm gonna play the once upon a time on Earth, nothing ate meat because nothing died. Everything lived for eternity. If everything lived for eternity, that means another living thing did not eat another living thing. So guess what we ate? Guess what we feasted upon? We feasted upon the plants, and every part of the plant was edible, but not to everybody. So we didn't eat other living, breathing, conscious entities that bleed, should I say. And plants do bleed in a way too, so I can't even say that. I'm gonna say this. We all were plant eaters. All right. Now, when you look at the plant have a variety of things that you can eat for selected species. So when you look at roots, roots are literally for your moles and, things like that. When you look at things that dig underground, they used to feast on that. And there's books that talk about this. When you look at your leaves and you look at grass, these things are for herbivores. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at what the plant produce, which is the fruit part, those are for human consumption. So when you look at a plant, the whole plant is edible, but it's not edible to you. Because when you eat the green part of it, it initiates a detoxification response. So since it's detoxifying you, you would call it healthy, but it's really trying to kill you. So it turns on what you would call the innate immune system, and the lymphatic system responds to it, and then you have detoxification symptoms from it. That's why when you take herbs, you boo-boo, you throw up, you get cold and flu-like fevers, you get cold sweats at night, you shiver. You feel like that you just drank a whole gallon of liquor on herbs, right? Because it initiates a detoxification response, showing you that the body is looking at the vegetables or what we call herbs as a what? Toxin. So when you're on an herbal protocol, I am purposely, I don't want to say intoxicating you, but
I was gonna say that's what you're doing.
What it is. Yeah. I'm intoxicating you to initiate a detoxification response. That's what plants do. It's fight or flight chemicals in plants. When you look at the plants have hormones. So plants can throw off your hormones just like meat can throw off your, because meat have hormones in them. Plants have hormones. Plants have androgens. Plants have high estrogen levels. So you can get high estrogen levels eating certain plants, just like you can get high estrogen levels eating certain meats.
Yeah.
But when you look at the fruit and you study the physiology and anatomy of fruits, the fruits don't have all of that. All the fruit have is the goodies for you. The plant go through all of this. The plant go through its conscious movement. The plant go through moving hormones around. Plants move, they migrate, they have sex, they sleep, they talk to each other, they sing, they communicate through the mycorrhiza. Like, plants are amazing, but their whole purpose for human being is to give us oxygen by way of sunlight hitting carbon, turning that CO2 into an oxygen. It pushes that oxygen out. We breathe it in. We go through our metabolic process called biophotomodulation. We exhale carbon dioxide, and then the plants breathe it in. Through that exchange, the plants say, you know what? Since we keeping each other alive, really, I don't need you because I was here before you. But since we keeping each other alive, I'm going to give you a fruit to be food for you, to be meat for you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the process. And when you look at plants, man, and you look like grains and barley, man, they are our masters, man. Think about the thing. Look, I'm a farmer. I grow my own food. That is labor back breaking work. The plant, like, get your ass out here and grow this food for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't grow this food, then you're not going to eat. Or you're going to eat from somebody else that's growing that food. So when you even look at plants owners, they are highly intelligent beings, man. They highly intelligent, and we're not supposed to be eating them. Them are not food for us. They literally grow and yield a food for us called fruit, or what I'm going to truly call meat. So yes, we are meat eaters. We're not animal eaters, but we are meat eaters. We eat the meat, the fleshy part of fruits.
And you talk about, I've been seeing you growing your own food, like going crazy, man. Like, and everybody aspire to grow their own food.
Yeah.
A lot of people living in bad conditions and can't grow their own food in a sense. Yeah. It seems like a complex thing. Is it a difficult process to start growing your own food?
Man, look, so me, I'm a researcher, right? That's what I went to school for, researching. I love to research. Hey, man, I did all of that research, and I researched for about, a year before I got the farm and started. About a year, about probably more than that. Did all that research, and guess what I did to grow my food? I dropped them seeds in the ground. I sucked on them first, dropped them seeds in the ground, put water on them, I didn't even get an irrigation system at first. Y'all can see the process. I put them in the ground. I put water on them. I probably watered them twice a week. I let the sun hit it naturally. I didn't have to do that. It rained naturally. Didn't have to do that. Circadian rhythm. It get light and dark. So it gets this blue light and this red light. And boom. Guess what I got from there? Food. I got peach trees. I got apple trees. I have blueberries, blackberries. I have strawberries that grow. We have butternut squash. We have a bunch. I'm a broccoli fiend. Broccoli. What else, Nabi, man? Tomato crazy. Carrot, man. We got some purple carrots, boy, that'll blow your mind, man. You know, I've been on a carrot kick because I've been doing research on myself with it. I've been experimenting with the carrots, man. Look, growing food is so easy. We too complex in our thinking. Put the seed in the ground, put water on it. This one got to be 3 inches deep. This one, and look, move some of that soil over, put some of them seeds in there, cover it back up, say a prayer over it, speak affirmations to it, water it every other day, let the sun, the wind, and everything else do its job, and nature is going to give you some good food, man.
That's a fact. Now, but what about like I live in an apartment.
Yeah.
So what's something I could start growing right now that's simple?
Anything you want. I have something in my house. Even though I got all these properties and so much land, man, I still grow in the house. It's called hydroponics. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you, I'm saying this on live, I'm gonna send you a hydroponic machine. And you gotta, and when you get it, you gotta show the people step 1 to step 3 from when you start growing your food. I want you to grow tomatoes. What you thinking, Abi? Peppers, tomatoes, and onions. Start that for the people. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna order it for you tomorrow, send it to you. And it's the same one I got, man. And it's in y'all, you don't gotta be in no soil. And they send everything with it, and all of it is organic heirloom seeds. I got you.
Let's do it. My word.
And that'll show the people you ain't gotta be outside, and you ain't gotta. Some people are not fortunate enough like that. Okay, that's cool, but that gives people an excuse. It's like people always using the fortunate as an excuse. I'm tired of being your excuse. Yeah. Like you can do, I'm doing it all. I'm growing on 10 acres. I'm growing on 3 acres. I got me a 36-foot wide by 44 wide greenhouse. Amazing. Top of the line. Growing food in there. And I'm still growing food at each home I'm at. So it's no excuse.
It's no excuse. You're right, man. And you know what? Hey, that's so much love right there too. You know, and it's so showing the people always work better. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you've been doing, leading by example. Is it a big difference though, Yahki, when you eating these fruits from the home and in the stores? Because you just said stay in the organic lane, stay in organic. But what about the fruits with the 3s, the 4s, and all of that? I don't know. Is they safe or not?
I don't even think the fruits with the 9s are safe because it's called cross-contamination. You know, and then they lie on the organic labels as well. So, you know, we know about the label laws. That's the reason why we think half of our fruits is vegetables when they really fruits. You know, I really grew up thinking a tomato was a vegetable.
Me too.
I really grew up thinking cabbage was a vegetable. I really thought that garbanzos was a bean. I didn't know that it was part of the Caryopsis fruit group as a fruit. I thought lentils was beans. I didn't know it was a part of the Caryopsis family. These are actual legume fruits. I didn't know that these are part of the reproductive part of the plant. So, you know, the labeling law is a whole thing that they came up with to avoid taxes, bringing things in from Mexico and from Europe and from China. And what they did was they switched up the laws and they started classifying a lot of stuff as vegetables because fruits are looked at as a delicacy. I wish we would start looking at it like that more. And you had to pay. And you had to pay more. So they're like, oh, well, hell, we're going to say that these are vegetables. You know, so when you look at it in that sense, you go to these stores, man, it tastes very different. Like when we eat peppers and we eat tomatoes and we eat butternut squash that grow from our land, it tastes totally different than the actual stuff you get from the store. I'm not going to lie. Now, some of it, I'm going to say this too. Since they're not enhancing these things in the farmland, like we're not putting no enhancements on our stuff at all. We grow in the natural. We do our best to regenerate the soil. I will say some of them do taste less tasting than the actual stuff that's in the store because we're growing it the natural way. And that even showed me that even to a certain extent, I am still programmed. My senses are still programmed to the chemicals that they are spraying to enhance these organic fruits and vegetables that's in the store, because some of them, when I eat them and I pull them out the ground, they don't taste like nothing. It's just very vague. And the reason why is because the soil is lacking minerals, lacking copper, and that's the reason why electroculture is amazing. Adding copper to your soil, copper rods, because the soil is going to pull all of that copper into the foods, and not only that, it's going to grow your food 3 times faster. So, shouts out to the permaculture and electroculture family, my copper family. Toxicity and mineral deficiency is what's going on. So if it's mineral deficient, they're gonna put something synthetic on there to make it taste good. Our soils are messed up. You can eat all of the foods you want. You can go frugivore all you want. You can go vegetable all you want. You can go meat all you want. You can do all these different diets because it's a diet for everything. That's everything. Everybody got a diet and a lifestyle for everything. That's why I say try it on yourself. What worked for me might not work for you. Hey, and I'm cool with that. And I'm cool with admitting that. What worked for me might not work. Frugivore diet might be hell for you. It might be the worst thing you ever chose to do. Frugivore might change your lifestyle. I done seen my Caucasian friends thrive. I mean, straight up thrive off the carnivore diet. Thrive.
Me too.
Thrive. But I done seen some Caucasians be kidney failure in the clinic. Yahki, I need my kidneys fixed off the same diet. So, I'm not going to say one diet fit all because we are all biologically different. Our biological fingerprint is different, but I will say fruits heal. I've seen the fruit diet heal more than I've seen any other diet heal anything. I will say that. And I will say this, whether you eating fruits, vegetables, meats, whatever, because the meat you eating have to eat the same fruits and grass we eating.
Indeed.
If the soil do not have the right constituents of minerals, then you're not getting nothing because you're still going to have deficiency and toxicity, which is the beginning of what you will call symptomologies of disease. And that's just it. So if we fix those two, that's what's going to really heal us. And the only way to fix that is to put minerals back in the soil, to let things biofermate and accumulate in the soil, and to let it rest and leave it alone. And you can do those things with coconuts. That's how we do it. We let coconuts ferment and break down in the soil. We add other minerals. You add trace minerals back into the soil. Like, it's a bunch of stuff that you can do. You can get live things like chicken eggs. Say a chicken egg is because we do chickens. We don't eat them, but they eggs, especially if they don't hatch. And a lot of people don't understand when you forming, a lot of them eggs don't hatch. So you can use those bioavailable proteins and vitamins, and you can put those in your soil too. And you sit that all into a batch, man. You let it cook for about 7 months, and then you mix that with your soil. You mix that compost with your soil, and now all the minerals and all of the amino acids and the carboxylic acids that you was missing is now back in your soil, and you grow it on that. So it's so many different ways to fix the soil, but it's crazy they don't teach you about microbiology, and they don't teach you about how to get soil in school. You can go for agriculture and get degrees in that. You can go for but they don't put it together, and it needs to go together. So I think our main focus as what they call healers, I'm a healer of my own body. I don't heal nobody else. You heal yourself. Fact. What I say is our main focus need to be the soil. If we really want to look, Bobby, if we really want to take this fight to the next level, and like really to the highest level, we need to get into permaculture. We need to get into electroculture, and we need to start teaching people the truth behind agriculture. We need to get into seed banking, saving seeds, and we need to get into growing our own food. There is nothing more free and more liberating than growing your own food, because the moment that they cut the food source, we die, because we need food stuff to convert things into energy and ATP. And we need to start looking into digging wells and having our own well water, which is very good for you, or grow a bunch of fruit trees and do H3O2. So this is true fighting and true freedom. I'm going to say this, Bobby. Land. When you get your land, make sure that it's fertile land. Work on that land. Make sure you grow your own food from that land. Dig a well, get your own water resources from that land. The third thing is going to be solar panel activity. Hook all of your electricity up to solar panels. The government will pay you because you got some free energy to give off. Hook your well up to that solar panel. That way, if they come off the light, you still got living, running water. So the whole thing is to look, we landed on Earth to land. So I think if we land, that'll solve all of our problems. You know what I'm saying? Landing, grow your own food, or be very, very close friends to one that grow their own. And
indeed,
all the stuff kick off, they invite you over.
That's a lot of people's best bet. You know what though? Every time I hear you speak, Doc, I gotta say this. It reminds me how far away we really are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's also a testament how far you've come. You know what I'm saying? And growing your own food, supporting the people. You got the clinic going now. Like you doing a lot of work. Yeah. Is this ever overwhelming to you?
All the time. But if this how I look at it though. If I don't do it, then who will? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to my own horn, but I operate at a very high level, man. Like I'm doing a lot of stuff. But you know, people don't know I don't want to claim stress because I know words are powerful, but they don't know the challenges behind this, the lack of sleep behind this. And plus, I'm still trying to maintain my own health while helping everybody else out with theirs. And you want me to go and announce it? We just bought a school, brother. A real school in Ferguson, Missouri, a big ass school. We just actually closed on the 14th. I closed on the 14th. It's a huge school. We got an auditorium that holds 600 people in one. They got how many classrooms? 23 classrooms, principal offices, hallways. It's a real school. I'm gonna send you pictures of it when we get off the phone. So it's a real school. And and everything that I'm talking about, we teaching at the school is on 11 acres of land. It's on 11 acres. And what we're going to do is it got a football field and a soccer field. We're going to take away one of those fields and we're going to turn that into a food permaculture. And we're going to teach the children how to grow their own food. And guess what? In the curriculum, we're going to teach them how to grow it. And then during lunch, once we get it really growing, you eat what you pick. You see what I'm saying? So it starts with the children. And, you know, I was always trying to go after the celebrities and go after the adults. But like our only chance of really winning this fight, because that's what it really is to the way that they're corrupting the minds of the youth. We need to uplift the minds of the youth. The way that they're putting processed foods into the youth mouth, we need to be putting living foods into the youth's mouth. The way that they feed our the tablets and, you know, the sexing and all of the stuff that's going on through the technology, we need to be creating our own healthy, you know, commercials, our own healthy cartoons. I need a Dr. Yahki cartoon.
Hey,
you need a fruit up episode that come on at 2 p.m. I'll play that in my school. You know, fruit up with Bobby and Bobby running around, you know, getting people on fruits and make it funny. Make this stuff look so attractive that eating meat or eating wrong or treating your body wrong is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? We need to the same way they making these low thought form frequencies appealing. We need to make them when a 4-year-old see that, they be like, yuck, daddy. Mom, did you see that person eating that meat?
Yeah.
Well, Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, episode 3 said this.
Yeah.
So the same way that they controlling. And when I'm saying they, I'm not being racist. I'm saying they, the higher ups. I'm not saying they, white people. I'm saying they, because look, once you really look at this, what it is, white people is getting crapped on as well.
Hey, everybody in the bucket.
Everybody, man, I'm just keeping it 100.
That's a fact.
If you ain't the higher up or the 1%er, you down here with me. So hey,
that's a fact.
So if we can change that and get to the root, control media, control radio, control telecommunications, control food, control water, control education, and control our own health system. That's how we really rebuild. And it's just that a lot of people are not doing it. So I'm trying to do all of them at once, and it's just taking a lot from me.
Hey man, congratulations to you, brother. First of all, man, congratulations, and that's huge news, man. Huge news, and not the chat saying not Yahki go have a school before Dr. Umar.
hey. Shouts out to Dr.
Shouts out to Dr. Umar.
You know, all jokes aside, I don't know what's going on with the school, but I will say this: that is one of the most intelligent black men I've ever met. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't know what he's doing with the school. I don't know what the issue is with that or nothing like that. But I say this, that man is smart and he have contribute a lot of knowledge and information to the melanated community. So whether the school get open or not, that doesn't even compare to the amount of psychological knowledge that he have given us. So we can joke about it and we can make fun of it all we want. Let's look at what he's offering the community Dr. Umar Johnson is a school himself. Every time he open his mouth, you get a curriculum. So, shouts out to Dr. Umar. I don't know what's going on with the school, and I will say this: I'm not here defending nobody. I'm just keeping it real. But talking to Dr. Kelly and talking to the people that's going to be over the schools that I'm running, they saying just the curriculum and to get the school how we want is going to take how long? It could take us up to 3 years to get it ready. So I don't know how long Dr. Umar been, because he started from the ground up like me. Now, I paid for it myself, though. I did do that. I've never in my life asked the people for anything. You won't find one video of me asking y'all to give me nothing, because I can get it on my own. But it takes a while, you know what I'm saying, to do it. Because when I heard them say it, because I have a committee, when they said 1 to 3 years, I'm like, damn, 1 to 3 years just to open that side. I didn't know it took that long. So what we doing is two parts of the school. One side, we are modeling it. We're gonna model it out, renovate it, and we turn it into an auditorium where I do my lectures at. And I'm gonna bring people here from all different walks of fashions of life that got intellect, and I'm gonna hire them to speak every weekend there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that for a year, sir. I'm gonna bring some of the most intelligent minds there to just speak to the children or anybody from off the streets of Ferguson, Missouri, and St. Louis that want to come and listen. And it's gonna be for free. And then I'm gonna lecture there once a month. I'm gonna do my own lecture at my own place once a month. I ain't gotta fly around and travel around everywhere, because now I got my own auditorium, and it's gonna be built up just like a college auditorium. How the seats go up, and it's gonna be beautiful, man. But yeah, I just released it. I wasn't gonna even tell nobody until we signed. But my brother, man, it's beautiful. You want to see? Let me show you a picture of it real quick.
Huge work right there, man. And you talk about the embodiment of just like, I don't think Yahki, that like us as like coming from the hood, right? Yeah. Coming from the hood, being in the streets, being around the people who sick and all that. I don't even think we thought things like this was possible until we seen people like you doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Possible for me, myself.
It's crazy.
Shot, stabbed, everything possible you can think about happened, man. So this is what the school looked like. You see that?
Hold on, let me put you on the make it big for you, so everybody can see that.
I can show it, can I not be? Okay.
All right, I got you on the solo. Show it again, Yahki.
All right, this is one side of the school.
Man.
Hold on, man. Look at the basketball court.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's so big, man. And shouts out to the pastor that sold it to me. So many people was trying to buy it. And it's like the pastor saved it for me, man. Ain't it like that? Once he heard that I was interested, he like, look, you ain't got to worry about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Now we came out some M's for it, but
I'm sure. Hey, how do you feel? How do you feel, man? Like making moves like that? Because that's monumental. It's historic. Like, how do you feel right now?
It be taking, so look, I be feeling normal. It be taking like my brother, it be taking Nabi, it'd be like, you realize what you just did, right? And I'd be like, because I feel like I'm supposed to do this stuff. So like when you supposed to do something, because God telling you and guiding you to do something, it just feel like it's a mission accomplished. Like I'm just on my mission. So it have to take people outside of me to say, you realize what you just did? Like you are the only 35, 36-year-old black male in St. Louis, Missouri, and all of Missouri that own their own school. They own an 18,000 square foot clinic that have the most innovative research technology in it in the Western hemisphere. Like I just realized I was the only person to have a clinic that got all the stuff I have in it. Nobody else in the Western hemisphere have a clinic, and all of them calling me wanting to see if we can work together. I'm like, dang, I'm getting calls from some of the top scientists and doctors, all races, shapes, and sizes, trying to come work with me. And it's just like, I'm in it. So I don't realize how deep it is until they be like, that was just Dr. Who that hit you up? That was who? You know?
Hey, man, the work is tremendous. It's tremendous. Hey, I'll never forget watching you in your backyard. I don't remember you used to do your videos. Yeah. And this is when I had been on my wave a little bit, because I came in like conscious in like 2010. Yeah. And I remember seeing you, like, you was going, like, you was saying something like not opposite of Dr. Sebi, but kind of like, challenging me. And I was like, he don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And now to see you where you at, family, and it's just like, it's amazing that the work you're doing is very inspirational. And it's why it's a lot of the reasons why I get up every day knowing that I can make a difference. You know what I'm saying? So
Dr. Fabi, I know we see very, very different, but he wasn't my teachers was totally different. Like I literally learned under Dr. Laila Africa. I learned under Baba Kusha from out of Jamaica. I learned under Dr. Robert Morse. Morse is, man, that's a beautiful, intelligent man, man. I love him. Learned a lot from him. Learned online from John Rose. Everybody else I mentioned before that, like I really learned from them. It's just a lot of teachers that I really like. I learned from, and then I applied the information. You know what I'm saying? Like with Morrison, with Africa and Baba Kusha and them, they literally was like, look, no, go do it. Go do it. Show me when it come back, show me what it does. Because I used to challenge the Frugivore. It sounded crazy as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? More and more I kept studying, I said it makes sense. And that was my issue with Africa. Because Africa didn't teach we was Frugivores. But when I was studying back then, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm watching him. This one Young Pharaoh was popping. And Young Pharaoh got me connected to melanin. So when I started learning melanin and melatonin, it got me on the fruit diet because I'm starting to see how melanin interact with the sun. And that's when I realized and learned that, because in school, they teach you that you don't go through photosynthesis. They say humans don't go through photosynthesis. Our food go through a process that basically is the opposite of photosynthesis. And I'm like, hold on, well, I got hip to melanin by Young Pharaoh, and I got deep into the study. And I said, hold on, we do go through photosynthesis. And then, I came across this word called biophotomodulation. So when I got into that, I started really studying, and then I got into the Frugivore movement because that's the only food that keeps you in that biophotomodulation. The fruit is. So then I'm Googling and looking up fruit, and guess who popped up? This one I find Morse. So then I get on Morse talking everything I'm on. I'm like, hold on. I done found my match. Because I challenged, because you got to remember, Dr. Valentine's, that was a personal teacher of mine, personal teacher. I used to call and we rapped over the phone. Dr. Phil Valentine's, Africa. These were people that really took me under, you know what I'm saying, under their wings. And then I switched up on them. I wouldn't call it a switch up. It's just that the information started being presented different to me going through my healing. And then I come across John Rose and I come across Morris, these two white men. So I'm like, damn, I can't bring this back to the community. Hey, look, Nabi, at this time, I'm so black, boy. When I say, look, my old videos. I'm radical, man. And I was angry too because I was learning history at the same time. Dr. John Henry Clark. I'm learning from all of the great blacks. So I'm mad as hell. So I'm Eddie. And then I meet them two, and I'm just like, dang, they Caucasian, but I agree with everything they saying. I'm like, how the hell bring this back to the community?
Hey, they definitely was talking a way different language. I didn't even know you worked like with Dr. Phil Valentine that closely or nothing.
Yeah, man. Like, Dr. Phil, about my first Egyptology or Kemet class I did was with Dr. Phil Valentine's. We used to get on the phone and we'd get on the phone and he'll pull up the computer and he'll go through the slides with us. It was me and 8 others. I done took most of his beginning classes. This was, mind you, this like 10 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
I was on it tough because so I've been a Hebrew my whole life. My uncle's Hebrew, my mama was a Muslim. So I grew up, I never ate pork or none of that. Like I grew up in a very Hebraic or what I call Abrahamic type of, that's why I can speak Hebrew so good and so fluent. So I grew up in that type of surrounding. And then I broke off because, when Jesus came into the picture and I'm like, well, his name Yahushua, that made me just break off and stir away for a while. So I got deep into Egyptology and the Kemetic lifestyle. And that's when I connected with Dr. Phil Valentine's, and he took it to another level. And I started becoming a metaphysician. I got very, very deep into the esoteric knowledge of religion. You know what I'm saying? And doing through Phil Valentine's. And then I got snatched back into the Hebrew movement with my Kohanim. Kohen, his name Malachi Maccabee. That's my big brother. He took me under his wing, and he started teaching me Hebrew, and that's when I got deep. And I was actually a Hebrew priest. I had my own temple with my brother. We taught every Sabbath day, all of that for about 6 years straight. I was in it deep. I was very religious for about like 11 years till I realized, like, hold on, man, we gang banging in the truth.
That's a fact.
I'm mad at people that don't. I'm on the street corners yelling at people. I'm about telling people they going to hell and all types of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And mind you, Mind you, I'm on meat the whole time. I'm on meat, drink. I'm on meat, drink, and weed.
And I was on that same wave because I ran into Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben was like,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
indulged in that.
Yeah,
Like,
you talking about Yahki Ben?
yeah,
Yeah,
Egyptology, yeah.
man, he got a dope book called Hebrews of the Nile, man. That's a real good book. But
I got that book. I got that book.
I read all. I went through all his books as well. Phil, of course, his book. Man, look, when I say since from the last 10 years, I probably read like 7,000 books, and I'm not lying. Like all I do is study and read in curriculum in school like this. I really live it. So, and I am damn near, I'm gonna say damn near a scholar at researching. And that's the thing I did love about, attending Stanford. Stanford really show you how to research. You know what I'm saying? They really do. Shouts out to Professor Gardner. If you want to learn how to research, Stanford University and Stanford, man. They show you how to go through them articles. Is it a vivo? Is it a vitro? Is it a cohort study? How did they do this experiment? How many people was it? Did these people did the biological difference have a difference on the study? Like, and they show you how to do your own experiments. And that's why the experiment we finna do, and I done hundreds of, all of the ones we finna do, is based off of all of that knowledge and intellect that I learned. So I'm not gonna say I learned all bad stuff from these schools. I'd be lying. I actually, chew the meat, spit the bones. You're gonna learn good and bad. But I didn't took a lot of tools that literally projected me through my level up. To be honest with you,
I think really though, Doc Gary, I think that's what set you apart. Your research. Like, you can't, one thing about you, the way you deliver information with your conviction, it's like you ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be lying. Let's talk about you fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. All the time. Now, you did mention the research that you about to do with us. Like, let's get into that. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's coming up with that?
Okay, so what's happening is Bobby Smith, my brother, my fruitarian fruit up brother, he sent me 8. He sent me 8 people, and we made sure we did Caucasians, we did mixed, and then we did what you would call blacks. And what we're going to do is we're going to prove to several different universities that you can keep a balance of ketosis while being on a frugivore diet. I did it myself. A lot of my clients that come in do it themselves. So what I did was I ordered them all metabolic panels. I ordered them all lipid panels because first they have to be eligible for the experiments. They can't have fatty livers. And what I've been noticing, checking thousands of people's livers every month, is that 90% of the human race have fatty livers because of high sugar diets. And when I mean high sugar diets, family, I am not talking about monosaccharides or disaccharides. I'm not talking about fruit. I am talking about polysaccharides, and I'm talking about high fructose corn syrup diets. I'm talking about these high corn syrup from grains and stuff like. I'm not talking about mono sugars that come from your fruit, these natural occurring sugars that's good for the body. I'm talking about the bad sugars, all right? And I noticed that half of the world is glycating and dying because they're eating these high plant or these high meat diets. And these high plant and high meat diets, specifically in the melanated community, causes fatty liver. So I don't want to, if you got fatty liver, we can't do it because with fatty liver, it's hard to go into ketosis. It's hard as hell.
How do somebody know if they got fatty liver?
Check. You got to get a full lipid panel. Get a full lipid panel. Check your AST, your ALTs. These are liver enzymic reaction. Always check your A1C. See if you pre-diabetic or if you diabetic. Your A1C is supposed to be 5.6 or lower. If it's above that, then you're going into hyperglycemia. If you are in that zone that I was talking about, if you're not going through glycosylation, then you're going through glycation. Again, 80 and up. I'm gonna say let's even do it like this. We'll say 90. 90 and up is glycation. And glycating sugars or fermented broken down sugar, you're going to go into an anaerobic state without a shadow of a doubt. That's the same thing that happens when you're working out. When you get into an anaerobic workout and you pumping iron, that burn that you feel is the actual cyanobacteria, these purple or blue bacteria, which is attracted to iron, because when you look at iron in the color blue, they resonate at the same frequency, just like the color red and the color in copper resonate at the same frequency. And notice the sunlight gives off red and blue light. We got to talk about that. And this is how I've been getting people to heal themselves too, through this science. But when you lifting weights and you working out and you doing this rigorous training, what happened is the bacteria have to burn energy super fast to keep up with the muscle contraction. So guess what they do? They gonna ferment the hell out of sugar real fast, and then the sugar burns so quick that it produces something called lactic acid. So when they say feel the burn, they saying feel the metabolic acidosis. And then from that, you get this growth, kind of like a tumor. The bacteria burns the sugar because it can't get oxygen. So you see a growth called a tumor. Same thing, you working out, the bacteria burn the sugar because it don't have oxygen. So you feel the growth called muscle tissues. So it's all a rebuilding process, showing you that cancer is a healing mechanism. It is not a disease, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, you start burning this lactic acid, and this lactic acid is what burns the tissue, but good things come from it. It rebuilds the molecular structure, kind of like Hawaii. Hawaii wasn't there at first. Guess how Hawaii happened? A volcano erupted. Volcano killed everything moving. It looked very bad, hindsight in 2020. But if you look on the brighter scale, the lava settled. When the lava settled, it turned into these coals and diamonds. These coals and diamonds then formed this landmass. This landmass then started getting seeded. These seeds started growing trees and grass. Next thing you know, you have a beautiful island that came from total destruction. So this is the culture of healing. If we can change the way we look at disease and quit calling it a disease and look at it for what it actually is, which is what my book talk about, that we're going to be shipping out in after July, late July. It's going to show you and change your perspective to show you that all disease is the body response trying to heal and correct itself because of these two things, toxicity and deficiency. Because toxicity and deficiencies equals congestion. And that's and once the body get congested, what's going to happen is mutation is going to happen. And these mutations, or adaptation first, then mutation, and then mutation is what you will call cancer or disease. And all disease that goes left unchecked equals to cancer. And all cancer is I call it mitochondrial injury. It's basically when the mitochondria get injured. And notice the color of mitochondria. The color of mitochondria is purple blue. Cyano. That's what the color blue or purple mean. Bacteria, microorganisms. Guess what attract blue? Guess what attract blue?
What's that?
Red. Guess where red light come from?
Red and black, like red and blue. Yeah.
And so look, check this out. When red and blue mix together, what color do that make?
Purple, ain't it?
Purple means cyano. So check this out. I want to show you something. So when copper, red, iron, blue meets the red and blue lights, copper and iron meets the red and blue light spectrum, or what you would call chromophores of the sun, guess what you create? Energy. This energy then takes the water inside your body, which is H2O or H3O. It forms this H3O2 constituent, which is structured water. This water is then used, converted. The sun hits carbon. Carbon with the sunlight creates CO2. CO2 then goes with iron. It takes a ride on iron to the mitochondria. The iron drops off this killing constituents to the mitochondria. The mitochondria takes it in. Then it uses magnesium, and then it uses copper, and then it converts them. It starts kicking it down. Glycolysis happens. It splits the glucose sugar. Then guess what happens? Fructose is produced from it, and then fructose steps it down more, and then it comes 3-carbon pyruvate. Pyruvate then go through another channel. Now this channel turned into something called acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA is a fat. Guess where you get this fat from? You only can get it from fatty meats, or nuts and fruits. No vegetables. No vegetables. So what I'm finished prove here is that you have two types of eaters in the world. In humans, you have carnivore eaters and you have frugivore eaters. But guess what you ain't got in the human eating category?
Plant.
You don't have herbivores, brother.
Yeah.
You don't, bro. When you start looking at the whole functionality of your body, bro, it's literally is to create energy, ATP, for you can live your everyday life. That's the whole functionality. right now, we done lost right now 2 million blood cells. Well, we've been on here for more than an hour. About 4 million blood cells have replaced themselves, going through autophagy and recycling. Do you realize how much mitochondria that takes? Now, the blood don't have mitochondria because the blood don't have organelles. And the reason why erythrocytes don't have organelles is because it have to trap oxygen by way of hemoglobin and iron. So what it does is it gets rid of it. That's why if you look at a erythrocyte, it have a dip in it. It look like this little disc with a dip in it. And the reason why, because it acts as a boat. And guess who the passenger on the boat? Copper, magnesium. Notice I'm not saying calcium, though. Notice I'm not copper, magnesium, and iron. And we are iron toxic. Iron is killing us. Half of the metabolic diseases that's going on with the so-called Black community is iron dysregulation, iron toxicity. Iron toxicity is what's messing up our bodies, man. And when we think iron is this super, look, first off, when you start looking at iron is the most bioavailable mineral on planet Earth.
Facts.
Think about the Earth crust. What is that made of?
Iron, yeah.
Iron. It's so much iron is in the atmosphere. In 1941, guess what they start putting in the crops and spraying on the crops? Iron. In 1961, they upped the levels. Iron. So look, now we got to question something, because when I've been checking the body for heavy metal toxicity, guess what I've been finding? High ferritin levels. So is the heavy metal toxicity not only all these other metals that's bad for the body? Is it iron too? And then iron is so volatile. Now, when you think about iron have 4 electrons. These 4 electrons on the Fe or the Fe, which is Fe, are unpaired. Electrons have to be paired to be neutralized and balanced. Imagine iron with 4 unpaired electrons going around through your body. That's going to create something called ROS, reactive oxidative species. Guess what that does? That starts burning and tearing the tissues up in the body. So we looking at these people with all these liver lesions on their liver, and then you start going tissue, because there's no way to check the high amounts of levels of iron inside the tissues. I figured out a way though. I put them in my acoustic lymphatic machine. Then I check their blood afterwards. Iron levels high. But
that's what you were just saying earlier. Yeah.
But your doctor said that you was anemic. And then they blame it on the period. Well, you're losing your iron through your period, ladies. Well, it's like, no, that's what's supposed to happen. I'm glad that you have a period and you losing iron because you got too much in your body. You damn sure got too much in your liver. And your liver is not producing enough glutathione to help even break down that iron, and you're not bringing enough copper. You're copper deficient, and since you're copper and selenium deficient, they can't be the vehicle to get iron out of the tissues to take it where it need to be, which is to the mitochondria. But guess what regulates your iron and get it out of the tissue? Sunlight. Because iron, blue sunlight. So when you look at blue light spectrum, that's going to help metabolize your iron. When you look at the red light spectrum, they help metabolize what? Your copper. So the sun is important. We have something called Thea here. Thea is this big old red light bed. If people come in here and get on that bed and change their whole life. And that's why we tell anybody with cancer, you need 3 things. You need magnetism, right? The positive and the negative side of the electrical magnetic field. There's something called magnetoferritin. Magneto mean what? Magnetic. Ferritin means iron. So a lot of people wondering why their biofield or their electrical magnetic grid is off. That's because they have an overload of iron. And since iron is one of the most electrical magnetic minerals, and you have a high toxic level of it, you are literally flipping the pole. And this beautiful magnetic field that was protecting you, or what we'll call the psychological immune system, or the psychoimmune system that was really protecting you for outer forces getting in, which is what, because any type of metabolic disease starts off mentally first. It all starts off realm. People don't want to talk about it, but it's what it is.
Facts.
So we noticing that heavy metal toxicity from these irons and from these other heavy metals that they are spraying on our chemicals is tearing down what we call the immune system. And then look, let me just go. I just got to show you this because I know it sounds crazy. It's actually called magnetoferritin.
That's crazy, man. When you be
magnetoferritin. Family? Yeah, let me read it. Y'all want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It says magnetoferritin, MFT, is a super paramagnetic protein formed by synthesizing magnetic iron oxide within the cavity of ferritin. And guess what it does? It pulls. So the electrical magnetic grid exists, or what you call the aura. You know, So when you start getting into Caucasians, like Dr. Bruce Lipton, amazing mind. You got Greg Braden, amazing mind, scientific mind. Joe Dispenza, amazing mind. I think he's Latino.
Yeah, a lot of people know about him.
Hey, look. But look, they always talking about the field. They're talking about the field, the grid. They talk about the meridian. These things are a magnetic field. Guess what makes the field? The minerals that's in your body. The minerals that's in your body is what makes the field. So if you're mineral deficient, what do that mean about your magnetic field? If you have too high of magnetoferritin or you have too low of magnetoferritin, what about copper and your copper oxide? Like, think about all of the different minerals, or you're calcifying everywhere because you got too much calcium. I have a book called The Calcium Lie, part 1 and part 2, where we need calcium, we need iron, and it's killing us. Watch this.
That's the #1 lie ever. The Got Milk campaign.
What'd that say?
Iron, the most toxic metal.
Most toxic metal on earth. Don't make me go upstairs and start pulling out calcium, the calcium lie. Let's look. Everything that we've been taught in the curriculum books is lies, man. I'm just keeping it real. And the way we think about energy production is lies. We need magnetism. We need light. We need oxygen. All right. And of course, we need love and we need authenticity. With those 5 things, I don't care what you go, I can change your life in 21 days. You don't believe me? Come see me. 2402 North Highway 67, Florissant, Missouri 63033.
Hey, and you know what, man? This is amazing. This is a clinic, family. This is a clinic. Let me tell you this. The amazing things that you doing in the community, family. When we get on this journey of how long this gonna be with the fruit eating with the 6 to 8 people.
So what I want to do is I want to do 21 days, and then 21 days we got to recheck, and then from there I want to do another 21 days. So I'm thinking all together. Man, IB was thinking all together probably 3 months.
3 months on all fruit, straight like that.
Yeah, but it's all fruits that's considered fruits. It's not. So I'm giving you the list for you can get everybody, because a lot of stuff that y'all probably not thinking is fruits are actually fruits. You see what I'm saying?
I told you that too. I was like, it's probably gonna be more of the botanical fruits.
Yeah. I like the name botanical fruit. Yeah, and that's what. So I am a fruit. I'm frugivore to the core. I don't eat just apples, oranges, and watermelons. I eat, but if it's part of the reproductive part of the plant, I'm eating it. So I can officially say, y'all, I've been back frugivore for what, a year and a half now, about a year and a half, and that's how I dropped all this weight, y'all. That's how I ain't got a stomach. No, that's how I look like. That's why I'm 147 right now.
My brother looking good too. Hey, that's that. I remember you see people already saying you too skinny. Yeah. Get that right away. But I embrace it. You know what I'm saying? I really embrace it. But we doing the work, man. We doing the work. We got something going on in our neck of the woods. Boot camp. We just announced in boot camp for June 1st. Something that I'm really proud of, man, because the people we need to get this work. And people love Yahki and they love what Yahki brings. So when I told them that you was gonna come by and do an hour masterclass in the boot camp, and then you threw something else on there. I'm gonna let you tell it. What you tell that you gonna give the people who make it through a month of our boot camp?
So we're gonna pick a select group of people, but if you make it through the month of Bobby's boot camp, we're gonna bring you to the clinic, and I'm gonna take you through all the therapies. I'm gonna give you hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy. If your blood pressure is regulated and if your lung capacity is good, I'll put you in a chamber. I'm gonna give you post electrical magnetic therapy, which I'm gonna put you on the magnetic bed. We're gonna give you negative magnetic therapy as well. I'm gonna give you acoustic lymphatic massage, and then I'm gonna manually move the hell out of your lymphatic system. I'm gonna put you on a lymphatic vibration plate, throw you in the infrared sauna at probably 170, 180 degrees for 30 minutes. Bring you back out, trim you again, then I'm throwing you back on the lymphatic massager, and then you're going to finish off with light. I'm going to do iridology reading on you. I'm going to read your blood for you. We're going to do live and dry blood analysis on you, and I'm going to put you on a biological scanner. So it's going to be dope. We'll film the whole thing to say that we did it, and you're going to come in here. You're going to come in here on the fruit fast feeling good, but you're going to walk out feeling like God.
And that's what we talking about, family. And getting through the boot camp. Now, let me real quick though, Yahki, I gotta tell you about the boot camp. Boot camp is every single night, Monday through Friday. The whole month. We put them through there. They gotta show up. If you miss 2 meetings, you out the boot camp.
That's how I go. You gotta have.
You feel me?
And hold them accountable now.
Indeed, it's max accountability, man. So we're gonna be doing that in June, man. I'm thrilled to be working with you. Thrilled to be, doing the study with you. Everything that's going on in the community right now. What's the biggest? I gotta ask you this. Since you've been moving at the rate you've been moving, what's the biggest change in your life that has happened that don't nobody probably know about and that you went through and that you overcame?
I would say my jaw. My jaw. So a lot of people don't know I had surgery on my jaw. So they had to remove. So when I was 16, yeah. So y'all can show y'all on my head. So when I was 16, I had my jaw shattered in a gang fight. My jaw was shattered from here all the way to here. So they had to go through and they had to replace it with metal, and they replaced it with titanium and 5% nickel. That titanium and 5% nickel, I didn't know, but for 16 years, it was leaking into my bloodstream. And throughout these 16 years, it's been slow leaking. Well, I didn't know because I was on herbs. I'm healing, doing juices and all of that. So I was getting a lot of it out. But when me and IB started going on tour and doing lectures, and I started eating ultra-processed vegan foods, of course, that accumulation started building up. So I started messing with my liver. And that's how I found out I had fatty liver, because I started having liver pain. So from there, I'm like, hold on, I got to cleanse. You know what I'm saying? So I went back Frugivore. I started working out for a whole 13 months straight, intermittent fasting. Man, we was doing so much parasite fasting. I'm doing enemas, doing colonics. I was getting that out of me, man, out of me. And then I was like, look, I gotta get the surgery. I gotta get it taken out. So I got in contact with the dope, beautiful biological dentist. I'm bringing her on my podcast on the 20th. So y'all actually meet my dentist who got my whole entire mouth straight. And she pulled out the metal and she replaced it with human bone and hydroxyapatite. That's not me promoting hydroxyapatite. That's AI. So I know I just said that word, but I promise you it's not me. I only promote my products from my site, www.yahkiawakened.com. If it ain't coming from there, it's not me. But anyways, man, I basically had to get all of this stuff replaced. The swelling just went down, Bobby. It's still kind of swole. Even talking this long, I can feel it, which we cool, but I can't feel it. But I need to exercise it anyway. But yeah, man, heavy metal leakage and toxicity coming from the titanium and 5% nickel in my jaw messed up my liver, plus on top of eating ultra processed foods. But I'm glad that we did get on the ultra processed food eating, because I would have never found out. Because I was eating good and I was detoxing it out. But when I started traveling and eating ultra processed food, boy, that with leaking metal from your jawbone, that didn't work out good. And it sent out the alarm bells. I know physiology, anatomy very well, so I already knew what was going on. I just didn't know where it came from. And then one day I said, you study the mouth so much, maybe it's coming from your mouth. And I went to get my mouth checked, and she said, if what they say, if show shit don't stink, she said, oh yeah, you leaking metal from area 30, from area 1, 2, and 3, and it's going down to your liver. Here go the abscess. It's right behind your nasal, and she doing through the scans. You can see where the infection was at behind my eyes and in my jawbone, leaking, and it was in my bone and everything. Am I lying? I be just come show them on the camera. Like, look, it was in my bone, everything, man. All from a metal jaw, showing you what metals do. So now when you start talking about iron and you start talking about these metals, man, it's like we really have to learn the truth about these metals. And shouts out to I'm gonna call him researcher Marley. Marley is a very, very, y'all look him up. He talks a very good deal about copper. He talks a very good deal. Now he believes in the carnivore diet, but if you listen to him, chew the meat, spit the bone, or what a plant-based would say, eat the fruit, chew the Frugivore say. But listen to him, and you are really, man, this stuff can go so deep, Bobby. We could talk about this stuff all day.
I already know it.
I'm glad you're on the mission you on, man. You're doing a very good job. I'm super proud of you, brother. I'm glad that we cross paths, because like you a whole movement and just a whole earthquake by yourself, brother. You really are.
I appreciate you, brother. Hey, man, you've been a big influence on my life. But like my following, a lot of my following come from what you have did for me and presented for me. So, man, I appreciate you coming on here doing this, doing the work with you. We definitely gonna be involved, and I got the people who working with us fruiting up already, ready to go.
All right,
So
cool.
we locked in.
I already ordered the blood works and all of that. I'm gonna send over the confirmations and stuff for y'all can go get that. Once we get everything back, I'm gonna check their lipid levels, their metabolic levels, and their CBCs. If the lipids and the liver look good, then we gonna do them. If not, we're gonna have to find a couple more people. Other than that, before we jump off this live, any questions in your chat? I answer 3 of them. I don't want to leave them without answering no questions.
Let's get it. Let's get it. How many people do we got in there? It's a lot of comments in here. Let me see.
The next 3 ones that pop up, you can go and pick.
Let's get it. Any questions? Any questions? Could the lead leaking also from young folks with piercings underneath the skin?
Could the lead leaking also for young folks with piercings?
I'm guessing
with piercings under the skin. So I can see that as well, because if you put any type of metals in the tissues, you can't do that. And then a lot of people getting piercings, and y'all don't realize the ancient tradition of piercings. Most of the ancient tradition of piercings was to hit certain meridian pockets and pathways. Like when you get your ears pierced, if you look at the ears are upside down fetus in the placenta. So when you pierce the earlobe, you actually pierce in the third eye, which awakening your third eye. These are very spiritual traditions. Now we got people piercing, eyebrows. We got people piercing their tongues, piercing in your dimples on your back, piercing everything. And these things can mess up what you will call the photons or the electrical pathways of meridians. And meridian pathways do exist. It was a study about 20 years ago where 2 scientists, they entered or injected what you would call technetium M99 into meridian pathways, and they was able to follow it with fluorescent light. And it was just like the ancient Africans and the Chinese said. It was mapped out just that same way. So the meridian pathways do exist. These meridian pathways are connected to circuit breakers that we call teeth, and they're connected to each organ inside of the body. So if you don't know the science and the knowledge, and then you start getting all of these piercings, you can definitely leak the metals from these piercings, and you can even do it even worse, which is to block the pathway of photons and of melanin neurotransmitters and energy through those meridian pathways. So be careful on the piercings. I took all of my piercings out. I wish I can get rid of all of these tattoos, because tattoos mess up the energy flow as well. And scar tissue mess up the energy flow of the meridian pathways and the energy flow as well. So yeah, I think so. I don't believe in piercings. That's why I took them all out of my body. Unless you know the ancient science and you're doing it for ritualistic ceremonial practices, I wouldn't do it. And that's just me. Whatever floats your boat. I'm happy if you happy.
Yeah. Good question there, family. All right, we got 2 more for you, Doc. We got can you explain anything for someone on dialysis with very bad stomach issues?
Very bad stomach issues. That means you are backed up. First, you need to check if you got Helicobacter pylori, because a lot of stomach issues come from that. Low stomach acid intake. A lot of stomach issue come from that as well. Backed up pancreas comes from that as well, or your kidneys. When you look at your kidneys sit basically right behind your stomach, and you are on dialysis, which means you are going through some type of kidney failure. I would like to know the percentage of your kidneys, and how often do you visit the dialysis clinic? Is it, did it come from high blood pressure or diabetes? So I know you glycating. The beautiful thing about learning about dialysis, you learn what they're doing. They're cleansing the blood. So anybody that's on dialysis, I would just do the natural way of cleansing the blood like they do. So I get red top clovers, burdock root, cleaver's root, chaparral, and I just cleanse my blood myself the herbal way, and to make sure that I get on a diuretic. And that's another thing. If you on dialysis, can you still urinate? Because a lot of people that go on dialysis for a long time, they can't urinate no more as well. So I'm sorry I can't answer that's a long answer.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out things first. So forgive me for that. I can tell you what, do I do something for this live? Get in contact with Bobby. Bobby cool with keeping up with y'all. Bobby will get you contacted with me, and then I'll tell you what you need to do.
Okay. And I think that brother right there in one of my groups, actually. So
all right.
indeed. Got you, Shaquille. Appreciate it. Last question of the night. What to eat if you have fatty liver? She was yelling that one.
Hey, look, now this sound crazy as hell, right? But what to eat if you have fatty liver? Fats, fruit fats, nuts, seeds, limited vegetables, fats. Eat fats, avocado, coconut flesh. You know what I'm saying? Avocado, mangoes. So to get rid of fat, you have to get rid of fat. You got to eat fat. And I know they sound crazy, but
I was about to say I can't even.
Okay. So all right. So let's just explain this. So you got to ask yourself, what is the highest currency of energy that the body would choose to utilize to burn to yield ATP? All right. This is a quiz. Is it sugars? Is it amino acids? Or is it fats?
More than likely fats.
It's fats. Yeah. That's what acetyl-CoA is. When you go through the Krebs cycle of the respiratory chain and you go through those 4 steps to yield ATP, and you using oxidase dismutase, you using catalase, the body going to choose fats every time because the fats are more higher burning sugar or more higher burning molecule than sugar. It's called ketones. And guess what is a ketone functional group? Fructose. So I would do high fat fruit, nuts, seeds, and limited vegetables. And try your hardest to get into a ketogenic state. Basically a plant-based ketogenic diet, and try your hardest to get in ketosis. Check this out. I just want to show you this. Do fruits come from a ketone functional group? And guess what? Vegetables don't. They come from a aldehyde group. Look, check this out. It says, yes, fruits contain compounds with ketone functional groups, such as ketose sugars, fructose, raspberry ketone. Raspberry. Yeah. See, raspberry ketones, which contributes to the flavor and the aroma. It says ketone in fruits. Ketones are a class of organic compounds characterized by a carboxyl group, CNO, carbon and oxygen, binded together with 2 carbon atoms. While not all fruits are prominent ketone compounds, some do. These ketones can be contributed to the characteristics of flavors inside of the fruit. So yes, your fruits come with a ketone background. So what we did at the clinic is we went through every fruit available in the United States, and guess what we did? We categorized them. The ones that have more glucose than fructose, and the one that have more fructose than glucose. The ones that have more fructose than glucose, we put them on a highly nutritional ketogenic list, and that's what we give our clients that come here to keep them in ketosis. And I'm going to do the same thing to you and a few people in your group to show you why fruits heal. See, I know you know fruits heal because you healed yourself on fruits, but you don't know why. And that's what I'm here, bro, to show you the science behind it, because it's freaking mind-blowing. And it shows us that these academic teachers are either lying to us or they just simply don't know.
They don't know. That's crazy, man.
So anybody with fatty liver, high fats. I'm talking about high fats. I'm doing, if I had a plate, my plate would be split up in 4. One portion is going to be strictly avocado. And I'm gonna put me some Celtic salt on it. The other side of that plate is gonna be some garbanzo beans, and I'm gonna cook them real slow. I'm gonna make them curry like, because I'm gonna add my coconut, because coconut is amazing. Coconut milk is the only milk that assimilate with human breast milk. There is no other breast milk other than primate breast milk, or what you'll call gorilla breast milk, that can even match the breast milk of a human. But coconut is nature's titty. And it has something, yes. And what it does is it boosts the immune system. So it has something in there called sodium lauren. And then when the body eat the coconut flesh or drink the coconut milk or the coconut water, sodium lauren turn into monosodium lauric acid. And monosodium lauric acid actually builds and stimulates the immune system. Study we did. People came in with low white blood cells. We put them on a coconut diet. 7 to 10 days later, you recheck their blood, white blood cells up, lymphatic cells up, neutrophils, basophils, monophils, eosinophils, all of them up. I mean, monocytes, forgive me. Monocytes, lymphocytes are up, working. Now you can go through a state of autophagy, because guess what? The same way that you get mother's milk when you first come out of the vagina and she puts you on that tit and that lines up the gut and that gives the body the good bacteria and that initiates the immune system. Every day you wake up and you drink coconut milk or coconut water, it does the same thing. And it's called monosodium lauric acid.
And you said 7 to 10 days of coconut water or milk.
Yeah, but don't even matter. It don't even matter. But it's more concentrated than coconut oil. More highly concentrated. Because when you solidify and make coconut oil, guess what you make? Turn it into a fat.
Yeah.
You see that? So the body loves lipids. The body don't want the wrong lipids. The lymphatic system is what? Lipid based. The cholesterol system, which is a hormone, cholesterol. You can't get melatonin, you can't get melanin, you can't get serotonin, you can't get no sexual hormones. Whether we talking about pregnenolone, progesterone, testosterone, you can't get none of that without estrogen.
Yeah.
Without cholesterol. Cholesterol, the higher it is, the lower your cancer risk. So everything that's very, very important in your body, other than your blood, is cholesterol, lipid, fat based. Everything. You can't tell me one thing. You cannot survive without fat. Without fat, you will die. And that's why most people are dying of heart disease, because they don't have enough fat in their diet. They're glycating. Too much sugars from plants and not enough fat. I'm just keeping it real. So,
yes, you definitely are.
So I'm not against plants. I love plants because guess what plants give me? Fruit.
Yeah, that's a fact. Hey, before you get up out of here, though, I got to ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Did cooked fruits versus raw fruits, big difference?
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. But certain things you have to cook or you couldn't eat them. And then now you starting to get into what they call paleoepidemiology. So in paleoepidemiology, we got to do another live on that, man. It's deep and it shows you what we was eating before we became hunter and gatherers and why we introduced cooking anyway. Because we was cooking food before we started cooking meat. We was actually cooking grains and cooked fruits. We was cooking fruits before we started testing it on the meats. And when you really start studying ancient history, it's amazing getting into that. But whenever you put a fire to anything, you destroy enzymes. Now, some things you have to put a fire to make it even suitable for the body. Like, for instance, I'd rather eat me a kale soup than have a raw kale salad because the body ain't going to break it down anyway. And it's kind of hard to even get all the constituents and the healing out of it anyway. At least if I cook the kale, I can at least get the chlorophyll and most of the, what you would call the phytonutrients and the phytochemicals out of it. For instance, chickpeas, fruit. Have you ever tried to chew on a chickpea raw?
I never had cooked chickpeas.
It'll break your teeth. But so with that, you can soak it and make it soft. That it'll work that way. So, but the cooking it part helps get rid of this film that's on it. And it actually disturbs the enzymes and it promotes more of, because chickpeas got copper in it. Like if you look at my diet on my plate, I'm gonna do what I eat in a week, like we did with Miss Berry. Shouts out to her. I'm gonna do what I do in a week. I did what I did in a day. I'm gonna do what I do in a week. Our diet is around copper, and that's what really healed my liver, because I had to pull all of that iron out of my liver, because that's what it was taking. It was taking that nickel and taking that titanium and iron and just focusing it in my liver and jacked me up. So if you look at my diet, it's very, very scientific, and it's to yield certain things, and that's why every diet don't work for everybody. So, but just to answer your question quickly, raw is always better than cooked. Always. For me, I like to play around in creation. I'm a chef. I cook every single day, brother. I'm so busy with what I take 2 hours out of my day to cook myself.
Hey,
and I like messing with spices. You know what I'm saying? But I do not fry food. I don't eat no fried food. I haven't ate fried food in almost 2 years. So I don't eat no fried food whatsoever. But every now and then I do cook. But we do eat more raw than we eat cooked food. But I'd be a liar if I sit here and say that I don't cook. But I do not cook with oils. But I do love oil. Like, for instance, I love olive oil. I take a shot of olive oil every single day. I take a shot of coconut oil every single day. Them are my two oils. I do not promote grapeseed oil anymore. That is a whole lie. Grapeseed oil is killing people. Matter of fact, seed oils, period, are killing a lot of people. They really are. I'm doing a whole presentation of that in my next seminar.
I can't wait to see it. And you know what? I'm just saying this before we get out of here. I'll be a lie if I said I didn't want no cooked foods. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait till you drop that in a week. You know what I'm saying? So I can see what I can do. You know what I mean? Like,
but
I love it.
But the and what we've been studying is and shouts out to Dr. Sabi. He was the first one on the quinoa. I went in on the quinoa because when we was testing it, it was bringing back metabolic acidosis. It came back metabolic acidic once it goes through the digestional process. But it was only with the brown grain. We tested the tri-grain. It's triple color. It's alkaline forming. So, and you know, Sabi was pushing that, and through my findings, I found different. But then through testing a different grain through my Jamaican brother, shouts out to him. He in Jamaica right now. He's like, look, maybe you testing the wrong grain. Test this grain. I tested that grain, and it's alkaline. So, you know, we've been doing quinoa. We do chickpea. Oh, what else we do, Nabi? That's about it.
You Nabi eat just like you do.
Nabi eat just like he eat the same plates, portion size. He do everything I do.
Shouts out to Nabi, man. Much love, Nabi.
He do every. Come get in the camera real quick, man. I'm talking to myself, but he do everything I do, man. Like this elder right here, man.
Nabi, what up, family? What's up, God?
But so man, I'm gonna do what I do eating a week, and we're gonna break everything down. But it's all centered around copper, magnesium, and selenium, which is the three most important minerals of our life. Selenium is inside of our melanin. Copper is inside of our mitochondria. You see what I'm saying? Selenium is inside of our melanin, and then the most violent, and magnesium is in all of our muscles, relaxes the vessels. It does everything, and it also changes what I say the pyruvate. Magnesium and copper changes pyruvate into that water molecule, which is used for the fuel ATP. And then the most destructible metals that I know that we think is healthy that are not in large accumulations. The first one I would say is iron, by far, killing us dead. The second one is calcium. Think about gout, uric acid. What makes that uric acid solidify? Why you think it's called calcification? What's the root word? Calcium. Crazy. How do you calcify a pineal gland with fluoride? What do it bind to? Calcium. So when you start looking at calcium, what causes heart disease and that's cutting up arteries, they blaming it on lipids and they blaming it on plaque, but it's not the plaque and the lipids, it's the calcium that's coming. When you look at cholesterol is what I call internal band-aid. So if calcium come through and rip an artery, cholesterol is going to be produced and come through and patch up the artery, kind of like a hole in the wall. It's going to patch it up. Calcium is going to come back over there and pick out that and calcium. So what's killing us is calcium toxicity produced by calcitonin from the parathyroid being pulled from our bone calcium matrix, and iron toxicity, which is taking all our livers down in our pancreas. And that's the reason why you will see a large amount of pancreatic cancer and liver cancer right now. We get about 20 of them a month of pancreatic cancer, liver cancer. And guess what? You check their blood, they low in iron. Give them that massage, though, deep tissue massage, and test that blood again. All of a sudden, their iron is up. So we just need to change the way we look at health. We need to change the way we look at healing, and we need to change the way we look at culture, because culture is what's killing us, man. We live in a deaf culture, deaf foods, deaf music, just deaf vibration, deaf relationships. Everything that we do just is revolved around low vibrational frequencies, and we need to find a spiritual system to really get in, brother. Everybody needs a spiritual system. I didn't say religion. If you want to dab into that and remain free while you're in religion, I think it's beneficial. But if you can't and you're going to get swallowed in, then don't do that at all. But you need a spiritual system, because that'll create you a discipline. And the studies that shows that people that pray and do affirmations have great outcomes, especially while they're sick. And these are actual real cohort studies where people have went off and prayed, and it showed what it did to the molecular structure, how it boosted energy, how people got rid of their fatigue just by literally talking to their God. So I think we all need to believe in something outside of ourselves while still believing in something within ourselves. So
message, man. That's a message. And you know what? I'll never forget when you said in Philly, one of the things we don't realize is the power and the will to live is what gets us there most of the time.
Will to live. So, that's how people live, man. Man, you can tell the people that come in. We got people that come in here and they be like, man, dead man walking. And I told Nabi, look, tell that brother he not welcome in here no more. Talk like that. Because that rubs off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you got some people in here. I believe in this. I'm doing it. I said, you got to believe you heard. You came here, then you definitely got to believe. So, you know, placebo is real. Placebo is real. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about that a lot in his book called The Biology of Belief. The placebo effect is real. You know what I'm saying? If you believe, this will change your molecular structure. You know, the biggest question that everybody wrestle over is, did the mind create the body or did the body create the mind? The mind created the body to experience reality. So if the mind created the body, that means if it don't mind, it don't matter. If it do mind, then it creates matter. So if you can believe something enough, it will literally change your biology. And there's plenty of studies that show that, especially these psychosis or schizophrenia patients that the psych wards did, where these people will really believe that they were monsters and had powerful mental capabilities. And when they switch, they will get stronger. One personality, it's one man had two personalities, and when he switched his belief, he was diabetic in one freaking personality and not diabetic in the other one.
That's crazy.
These are real studies. You can look them up. When he went through his psychosis, he became non-diabetic when he was in his strong mentality, his strong belief, when he thought he was this different person. But when he wasn't in psychosis, he was diabetic on the insulin pen. Like, how do you even explain it?
Wow.
He couldn't lift 150 pounds in his regular mindset. But when he turned into this monster, he can bench press 350 to 375. Look this up if you think I'm lying. Google it. Pull up the study.
What was it?
It's called let me get that.
The mind is a powerful thing, man.
Multi-personality disorder, where people will be in one personality and be weak, and be in the next personality and be strong, be in one personality and be non-diabetic, and be in another personality and be diabetic. Okay, so here it go. And it's called dissociative identity disorder. Let me pull up the article.
You must be listening. That popped right up as soon as I hit it in the Google.
Yeah. Here's the article. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it to you. That way you can post it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's mind blowing. I read this about 10 years ago. Blew my mind. I got a book on it and everything. So, but it just shows you that the will to live, if you believe, you can conceive and achieve it, man. I know it sounds cliche and it sounds too good to be true, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You are in the position you in right now because your mindset. Change your mindset, change your reality, change your life.
And that's what I did, family. Thanks to you. Thanks to my brother. Now, B, I see you back there. Always smiles, man. Hey, you know what they say, Yahki? You know the session good when y'all said all right, then continue to talk. All right, brother. I appreciate you much. Indeed.
I'm gonna send you that hydroponic table tomorrow with the seeds and stuff.
I got you. I appreciate you, brother. Much love.
Check in with me before we can do that.
I got you.
All right, peace, King.
Peace, King. And with that being said, y'all, we are out of here. I appreciate y'all for staying up with us. We made it through. My brother dropped them gems. If you want to be a part of the boot camp, go to confidence.fruitup13.com/max. We can get at me for the get with completely cold, Courtney Akane, for the link. We are truly moving this forward, family. I'm super honored to be a cahoots with my brother. We're going to make sure that people get what they need. Yahki is definitely the leader of the people, and I'm just honored to be working with y'all. So with that being said, Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. We back at it. Fruit up, family.